Aunt May, they're surprised, Peter. Surprise! Did I surprise you? Did we surprise you, Peter? He's like, yes, you did. Jesus Christ, you didn't give me a heart attack. You sound like a banshee. You sound like a banshee, Aunt May. Hello, I just wanted to thank you for clicking on my video, and I wanted to let you know not only do I create content on my YouTube channel here, Class in a Glass, but I'm also on Twitch where I play single-player games, multiplayer games. I do movie reviews, cartoon reviews, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Also, it would be a big help if you can check out my Patreon, where you can gain access to audio commentaries, reactions, and the ability to submit questions for my podcasts and videocasts. And all that content can be found in the links below. In the meantime, enjoy the video.
Let's see who's behind the mask.
Chat, we shall begin. We open up with Alex Ross Spider-Man fanfare, chat. We're off on a good goddamn start. The original opening to Spider-Man 2002, chat, honestly, you could do that in, like, in Adobe Illustrator like that. I mean, I know back in the day, people were like, whoa, this looks so cool, but that was one of the most dated aspects of that film. But when they got Alex Ross to do the retelling, so smart, chat, so smart. He basically did a retelling of the original Spider-Man film in 2002 through his artwork, chat. And they have the swelling of the Danny Elfman. That's when I think the Danny Elfman score has been used the best, is in this film. The swelling of the Danny Elfman score as all these images are coming up, chat. There's some just great shots where we cut like to like Peter Parker's face, and like the Spider-Man suit is being like placed upon it, and we go inside his eye and we see fucking Norman Osborn going ha 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 as the Goblin and everything. Some really cool shit in this sequence, chat. And they do it again in Spider-Man 3, I think doing the retelling of Spider-Man 2, maybe some parts of Spider-Man 1. I don't recall. Did they do that in Spider-Man 3? Maybe not. No, I don't think they did. I think I might be misremembering, chat, but I love the Alex Ross stuff in this. So already off to a great start in chat. Right up, but then we transition. We transition, chat, and Peter Parker is a pizza boy. It's pizza time. He's a pizza boy, chat. And, you know, he's fucking getting distracted because he sees this big old billboard of Mary Jane Watson, chat. She's having so much success, chat. She's no longer waiting tables. No longer waiting tables, chat, at Moon Diner down the goddamn street. Hey, Watson, I'm talking to you. Doesn't have to deal with that guy, chat. She is now in the front of fucking billboards in New York City selling perfume, chat, in New York and Paris. So her career is going off well. She's in a goddamn play. There's something about Ernst. Something about good old Ernst, chat. Thank you, Chris Harris, for the 10 minutes. No, at 3, they just show footage. That's what it was. That was bad. They should have got Alex Ross again. I love the Alex Ross stuff. Say another thing that Spider-Man 3 fucked up, chat. And I'll give Spider-Man 2 that very good opening credit sequence. So there's something you didn't expect to hear from me. Love the opening credit sequence, chat. But he's a pizza boy now, chat, because, it's not like he's a fucking genius or anything. It's not like, he's like a goddamn superstar scientist who can probably get a job anywhere, chat. Nah, he can only be a pizza boy. That's what Sam Raimi has him doing, chat. And so he's on his little moped, chat. But someone's calling him, and Parker, it's Asif Manvi, chat. Asif Manvi also played, oh God, I'm knocking my controller, my goddamn mic over. Also played Asif Manvi, chat. He was also featured in The Daily Show with Jon Stewart, chat. He no longer works at The Daily Show anymore. Asif Manvi was very funny. He was my favorite. He's one of my favorite news anchors, chat. Honestly, chat, he should have got over Trevor Noah. I'm putting that out there right now. He should have got over Trevor Noah. Yep, a lot of people should have got over Trevor Noah. But he works at a pizza shop now. So apparently, chat, when he left The Daily Show, he couldn't get any more work, chat. I'm sure he fucking hated Trevor Noah because he says, like, I should have been the news anchor for that, chat, but he wasn't. Now he owns a pizza shop, chat, in NYC, in the Big Apple. And Peter almost nearly fucking runs him over with his moped, shit. He actually has to leap off the fucking thing to stop himself. And also, he's like, Parker, you're late. You're always late. I need you right now. And Peter's like, I'm sorry, there was a disturbance. Thank you, Dark Slave, for the 5. He stole that. We'll get to that, Dark Slave. We'll get to that very much so. But then Tom Maguire has his first line. He says, sorry, there was a disturbance. And he's like, what? Stand up for yourself, Peter. But he told him, I'm sorry, Asif Manvi, there was a disturbance nearby. And he's like, disturbances of you. Listen, it was a fucking order coming all the way down from the southern side of the island, okay? All right? That's 43 goddamn blocks. All right, Joe's Pizza Shack. I don't know what their name is. I'm gonna call them Joe's Pizza Shack. Joe's Pizza Shack. We have a 29-minute guarantee. If it's over 29 minutes, you get these pizzas for free, which is a terrible business decision. Absolutely. Who fucking adheres to shit like that? So you deserve to lose your business, and you don't deserve to be the news anchor of the Daily Show, Office Monty, if you're fucking making decisions like that. Terrible, terrible decision, chat. And so he's like, you have 7.5 minutes to get downtown and deliver these pizzas, to adhere to our goddamn slogan, okay? And this is weird, chat. So I'm a New Yorker, as you guys all know. And Sam Raimi has the gall to say, I have to deliver these 8 deep dish pizzas. You take your goddamn deep dish pizzas, Asif Manvi, and shove it up your ass. That's how I would have told him as Peter Parker. I'm like, you're not a fucking New Yorker. What's this deep dish pizza soup Chicago shit? Take that back to Chicago, okay? Take that to the Midwest where you're freezing your ass and balls off all goddamn day. You don't bring me no fucking pizza soup and put it in my face and expect me to deliver that shit 42 blocks away, 42 blocks south. You know how much it would take me to get across the goddamn island that time, chat? You could fucking get. You would need Snake Plissken. Snake Plissken wouldn't even help you. We're all fucked. Don't bring that shit in this movie. So that was inaccuracy number 1. Inaccuracy number 1 right now, chat, with this deep dish pizza. Thank you, Bat Shields, for the 5 biddies. So I'm like, this is not, and they don't even adhere to that, chat. So I don't know who was writing the script. They did a horrible job with this sequence, chat. But he says, you have 7.5 minutes to deliver these 43.5 blocks away. And Peter's like, oh, you don't deliver. And so he fucking puts him on his moped, chat, and he speeds off. And he's trying to get there as fast as he can, chat. He's disobeying traffic laws. He's going through red lights and shit, endangering the people of New York City, chat. Nearly is sideswiped off the goddamn road, chat, by a rat catcher or something. I think exterminator or something like that. And I'm like, get your ass over there. That was very New York. I like that. Thank you, Doc, for the 5 minutes. There's a reason why 30 minutes or less deliveries were discontinued. Yeah, because it's fuck you ruined businesses. And that's probably Asif Manvi. He was one of the last ones. They're all gone. They're all gone. That's why people went, shit. That's not good. Let's just chart. And not only that, the people just like, they give you the pizza pie. It's already pizza. Domino's went, well, fuck that. Not only will we not deliver your pizza in over 90 minutes, we'll get it to you, but it'll just be a pizza abomination with no sauce on it. There's no sauce on it, chat. There's too much cheese, and it's just soaked in grease. It's like, hold on, let's put this in the fucking fry greaser first. We'll put it in the fry greaser. There you go. And it's just a wet blanket, chat. They just lay that out there, and there's not enough pepperoni on there, too. And the pepperoni is just disgusting. Domino's Pizza is the goddamn worst. I hate it. Who eats deep dish pizza? No one. No one does it, Summer Baby. Welcome to stream, by the way. Hope you're doing very well. It's a sin. It's a goddamn sin, Chad, okay? I do not allow it here on this stream. I don't allow New York City. No New Yorker allows it. So inaccuracy number 1. And so at this point, he almost gets swiped at the road. He has like 3 minutes left. He goes, shit. And so he does the thing where he fucking just, he hawks his moped, chat, just down the block, and then he runs into an alleyway, just does a Tom Cruise goddamn run. Thank you, Batches, the 5 minutes. I love pepperoni too. No, Batches, I love pepperoni. Let me tell you, no, they don't put enough pepperoni in the goddamn pizza, and it's already too greasy, and pepperoni becomes gross when there's too much grease in the Domino's pizza. That's what I'm telling you right now. So he runs in the goddamn alleyway, chat. Okay, he runs in the alleyway, and this one guy, the guy from the Chappelle show. The guy from the Chappelle show is watching him, chat. And fucking who bursts out of the way next, chat? It's fucking Spider-Man. And Spider-Man's jumping out. And he sees Spider-Man has the pizzas in his hand, chat. He has the 8 deep dish pizzas. Forget about it. And he's like, whoa, that guy stole that guy's pizzas. And it's like, what? Spider-Man stole the guy's pizzas, chat. It was a great line. You know who originally was supposed to get that line, chat? Sam Raimi. But he fucked it up. He fucked it up. Or he went, Spider-Man stole that guy's shoes. Is that the line? It was not the line. It was not the line, Stan. So they gave it to the guy from the Chappelle show instead. Yeah. And so he's fucking swinging around. He's having a good time. But oh no, he sees these stupid, derpy children running out into traffic, chat. He goes, God damn it. I mean, I would just let him die, but great power, great responsibility. Ugh. And so he throws the pizzas, chat, on a precipice, on a ledge near someone's apartment, chat. And, you know, the guy walks out, and all these pizza pies are right there. He goes, He goes, ooh, free pizza. I would not eat pizza that suddenly appears on the 30th story, chat, on my apartment. Like, I don't know whose pizzas those are. I don't know how they fucking got there. But my first thing would be, I want to eat this. I'd be like, fuck that. Absolutely not. No. And so these derpy kids wander off in the traffic, chat, and this bus is like, I'm coming right at him. This bus driver's not stopping for nothing. But Spider-Man, he grabs these two derpy kids, puts them down there. He's like, no, remember, kids, there's no running in traffic. And they go, thank you, Spider-Man. Here to help. And he fucking swings away. He swings away, chat, and the guy, he got himself a slice, chat. But then Spider-Man grabs a piece. He's like, whoa. And then Spider-Man goes to the side of a building, and the guy was just about to help himself to a slice. Now, chat, it's a slice of pizza. It's not that deep dish shit. So, already inaccurate. These are not deep dish pizzas, chat, because if it was a deep dish pizza, it would just look like the most disgusting thing imaginable, chat. It would be like a Cthulhu-esque cheese, bread, sauce abomination. That's not what it was. It looked like typical New York pizza. So Spider-Man just grabs that shit and with his webbing, chat. And then we cut to the building he has to deliver them to, chat. We were in an office, we're in a lobby, and they had the lobby lady, chat, who's very rude, by the way, very rude. I'm gonna give her this. She's I'm not gonna give it to her, chat. She's rude. And all of a sudden, Tobey Maguire just appears out of a closet. Like he is walking out of the closet, chat, and the mops are falling down on him and shit. And he just can't get him in. I mean, at that point, I wouldn't give a fuck about the mops. I just walk out of the closet. Here's your goddamn pizzas. But he has to take his time. He has to take his time to put the mops and the brooms and everything that's falling on him back in the closet. And he does it. And he walks on over, chat. And we get the goddamn line. It's pizza time. It's pizza time, chat. And she's looking at those pizzas, chewing gum too, just so rude, just chewing gum. And she looks at him, and she looks at the clock behind her, chat. And it's like 5 past noon. You're late. You're 5 minutes late. And she goes, you're late. And he goes, traffic, right? And she goes, I'm not paying for those. And he defeated, chat, just, takes him off the little, after that point, he says, I'm not paying for those. And Asif Manvi said before Peter left, if these aren't delivered on time and we don't get paid for them, you're fucking fired. I would be like, all right, fuck it. I would just push them all on the ground. And yeah, there you go. No pizza for you. No pizza time. But, he does his thing. And he goes back to Asif Manvi. And Asif Manvi's just like, Peter, you're just not reliable. My promise is a guarantee. I'm going to deliver these pizzas in 29 minutes or less, goddammit. And to you, a promise means nothing. And Peter's just like, Asif Manvi, just give me another chance. I need this job. And Asif Manvi goes up to Peter Parker, chat. He looks him dead in the eye, and he fucking takes the sticker and rips it off his fucking helmet, chat. Get your ass. I'm kicking you to the curb. Broom him fast, chat. It's like Norman Osborn used to say. Thank you for serving the 10 minutes. By the way, that girl at the desk, Zoe Deschanel, really? Oh, she kind of looks like Zoe Deschanel. Wow, I never knew that. Cool. Very, very cool. Very nice. I would have taken that shit back. I would have done that too. I would have just eaten them in front of her. Just done all that shit. But then he's fucking going home, chat. He's fucking going home. He's a goddamn sad sack, chat. He's driving his fucking moped, but at least he's going to see Aunt May. He's going to go check on Aunt May, see how things are going. And he walks in, there's balloons and shit, but he doesn't notice anything. And everyone goes, surprise! And you see Aunt May, they're surprise, Peter! Surprise! Did I surprise you? Did we surprise you, Peter? He's like, yes, you did. Jesus Christ, you didn't give me a heart attack. You sound like a banshee. You sound like a banshee, Aunt May. But Aunt May's there, chat. Goddamn Harry Osborn, chat, who's played a different character in every other scene. And Mary Jane Watson are there, chat. And they go, yay! And he's like, what's the special occasion? Aunt May's, Peter, it's your birthday, Peter. You're so busy you even forgot. And, MJ walks up. She goes, how you doing, Peter? And she just, chat, the way she looked at Tobey Maguire is like, Jesus Christ, you two want to just start fucking here? My God. The way they're just eye-fucking each other, chat. It's like Aunt May and Harry should have just left the room, chat. They should have just went outside because the shenanigans, the hot, sexy, sweaty shenanigans that were about to occur, chat, it would have been heard throughout the entire house, chat. It would have gone up to the bedroom. It would have heard him no matter what. But, Peter attempts to talk to her, as humans do, and it's not going great. It's not going great. And, MJ's like, oh, the dinner's done. She goes in the kitchen to get dinner ready, Chad. They got some food. They got some food for good old Pete on his B-Day. And then, Harry Osborn walks up. He's, how you doing, Pete? Haven't seen you in a while. They do the handshake, do the bro handshake, chat. And Peter's like, busy. And Harry's just like, taking pictures of your friend, huh? How's the bug these days? And he said it very ominously, Chad. He said it in a very negative way, which implies that, like, a lot of sarcasm right there. And he said it very facetiously. But Aunt May, she walks in. She's like, enough said about him, the better. No more talk about Spider-Man. And she gives them each like a little bit of some of the rum punch right there. Gives them some of the rum punch chat. And she goes and helps Aunt May. And Harry's just looking at Peter and just like, dude, just go after her. Peter's like, no, she wouldn't understand. It's like, Peter, God damn it, dude. Just fucking, you're always waiting for something. You're always waiting. What's preventing you from doing this? And he's like, oh, it's a real big thing going on right now. And he's like, taking pictures of Spider-Man, is it that hard for you? He goes, can we just move on from the subject of Spider-Man? Harry's just like, no, he fucking killed my dad. And he's like, listen, you would tell me, right? If you knew him, you would tell me who he is, okay? So he can pay for the murder of my father, Chad. We'll get into that later on in the movie. And Peter just says nothing. He says nothing. Harry's just fucking, kind of sitting there in the chair, not looking great. And it transitions, chat. And the party is over. Aunt May is passed the fuck out. She drank so much rum punch, chat. And she went into a drunk stupor. Everyone just, should we move her? And Peter's like, don't worry. She's done this a lot since fucking Ben died. Just leave her. She's a mean fucking drunk. We're all lucky that she didn't start attacking you. I had to put her down one time. It was rough and needed that extra spider strength. And so, Harry, he leaves. MJ, she goes over to see her mother, Jack. Because she's, as we all know in Spider-Man 1, she's lived next to Peter Parker for like 17 goddamn years. And up until the beginning, Shadow Spider-Man 1, they've lived next to each other for 17 years, okay? 17 years. And they've never, at that point in the movie, never talked to each other. Bullshit. Never talked to each other, Chad. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. Anyway, and so he rouses Aunt May. She goes, oh. And she's like, oh, I must have fallen asleep, Peter. And she's like, don't worry, Aunt May, it's fine. She's like, did everyone have a nice time? And he's like, they had the best time. They loved the Vienna sausages and the wheat cake. She literally made him a cake made out of wheat cake, chat. Just lathered in mayonnaise. They're poor. They don't have a lot of things. They don't have frosting anymore, Chad. They don't have a lot of food. You got Vienna sausages, you get mayo, mayonnaise, chat, and it was not that fucking Hellman's. If you're rich, you would get Hellman's, chat. She got that Miracle Whip bullshit, which is not even mayonnaise, by the way. I don't know what the fuck that Miracle Whip bullshit is. So she got a fucking wheat cake layered in mayonnaise. You have pretzels, and you have the rum punch, and she drank about 3/4 of it, so no one got to have the rum punch. No one even got buzzed, chat. She just got shit-faced drunk. And she's like, would everyone have a nice time? And he's like, absolutely had a nice time. The thing is, though, Chad, while she was, shit-faced, he was looking at all the bills, Chad. Apparently in the bank, they're foreclosing on the house. She's late on all the bills and everything. Apparently, goddamn Uncle Ben's life insurance, Chad, it's not as much as it should be. Guess Uncle Ben wasn't worth much, Chad. He was a losing life and a losing death. And so now, money's just not coming in. And he's saying, I saw the bills. He says, I'm just a little behind. Everyone is. Which, I know people are in debt, of course, but I'm like, you're significantly behind. They're basically saying, like, we will evict your old ass if you don't pay by, like, next week, okay? That's fucking serious. And so Peter's just like, okay, Aunt May. But Aunt May, she's like, you're the one who should be concerned for yourself, Peter. You have a job, which he doesn't anymore. You're going to school, which he's fucking flunking, Chad. He's flunking college at the moment. And, you have all these things. You have enough to worry about. And she, waddles over, Chad, to give him a 20. Slips him a little 20, Chad. She's like, here you go. You need it more than I do. And, he says, no, Aunt May, I can't accept this. You need this. And she fucking just, gets in a rage, Chad. Don't bring up money of Aunt May. Don't refuse her money. She's like, take it, Peter. And don't you leave it here. She's about to starts crying. And he's like, okay, I'm sorry. She's like, I'm sorry. It's just, Uncle Ben's been 2 years now. It'll be 2 years next month, and my heart just can't take it. Damn the person that took him from us, Peter. damn him to hell. And then she waddles upstairs, chat, where she, she takes the rest of the punch that was left over, chat, and she just goes up there. Meanwhile, take it all. And so Peter, he's picking up after Aunt May and all the trash. He goes outside, and Mary Jane Watson's there. And then, she's like, hey, Peter, and they will walk on over, and she's asking him, like, so how are things, been with you? And Peter's just like, just, busy and things. He's like, how's the job? He's like, job hunting now. And he goes, didn't work out. And he goes, no. And how's your life going, MJ? Trying to change the subject, chat. And he's talking about, I saw your billboard, goddamn, downtown. And she's like, oh, that thing? It's so embarrassing. Fuck you, MJ. All right, you know. Peter Parker is down on his luck right now. He can barely afford rent, and we'll get to the goddamn rent in a second, chat. Someone demands rent. He can afford rent, and you're just like, oh, that thing that I was paid thousands and thousands of dollars for? Yeah, it's so embarrassing. He's like, fuck you. And then, he asks her, like, Peter's like, well, I get to see you every day now. And she's like, well, I wish you would come to my play. And he's like, oh, your play? Which, she's getting rave reviews for his chat. That's paying all the goddamn bills right now. Something for Ernst, chat, or something about Ernst. I know it's Ernst, but I'm gonna call him Ernst, because I'm doing it in a mocking way. And he's like, I'll come to your play tomorrow night. And she goes, really? And he's like, yeah, I'll be there. And she's like, okay. And then before she leaves, just to rub salt in the goddamn wound, chat, says, I'm seeing someone right now. And like, we're waiting for his reaction. He goes, oh, that's good. Companionship's important. He's more than just a companion, Peter. And he goes, okay. He's like, well, like, what's he more of? And she's like, I don't know. But she fucking knows. It's like she's just constantly messing with him throughout this movie, Chan. She's even and all across the trilogy. In the first one and the second one, especially in 3, when he somehow figures his life out. And then she's downtrodden. She takes it out on him. Terrible. Peter never takes it out on MJ, chat. It never does. Except when he, fucking beats her in 3. We're not at that point. We're not at the beating of MJ in the nightclub yet. And he's like, well, I'll be there. And so he takes his sad sack of a body, chat, back to his terrible tenement apartment. And the thing is, chat, when he's trying to get in, here's his doors, his goddamn keys jiggling as he put him in the door, chat. We hear, rent! And then we're introduced to the character, chat, of Mr. Dickovich. Mr. Dickovich, chat, which this character, okay, like he is playing up the Eastern European, Russian stereotype, chat, with all of them, chat. Like he is everything about him is a stereotype. In the goddamn full sweatsuit, the thick accent, chat, just the playing up that, like he's he's in terms of like his the technology they use, it all feels like it's decades old. It's playing up all those stereotypes, chat. And this character of Mr. Dickovich, chat, who describes himself, he's like, I need rent, and Peter's just like, I can pay you, I only have $20 right now. He just fucking takes that. He's like, mine. This is mine. He's like Watto. He's the Russian Watto, chat, of the Spider-Man franchise. And he says, like, listen, you need to pay me my rent. You're fucking 3 weeks late, okay? I need the money. And don't you go scurrying or trying to hide from me. I have ears like a cat and eyes like a rodent. And this character, Chad, is done in honor of Steve Ditko, Chad, the original artist for Spider-Man. And it's like, this is the character you honor him with Mr. Dickovich? I'm like, I don't think so. This is a shitty, what an insult. What a way to dishonor someone. I don't know what they were thinking with this character. And then you got Olga, Chad, who is just as weird and awkward as Peter. Honestly, I'll tell you right now, Chad, you know who should have been the love interest in this movie? Olga. Because she's just as weird and nearly sociopathic as Tobey Maguire Peter Parker is. And she's making fucking pierogies, and she accidentally burns something. Mr. Dickovich says, the woman, she's fucking it up. And he closes the door, Chad, and he goes into his little tenement apartment, Chad. Doesn't even have a bathroom. He just has a sink there, but not a bathroom, Chad. They have a shared bathroom. And he wanders in there. And he just sits down. And of course, he's right next to the goddamn monorail, chat, right next to the tracks. The whole fucking apartment shakes. And he's just sitting there in absolute misery, wallowing in misery, chat. And then he goes, well, maybe tomorrow will be different. And, he wakes up, chat, and this is another example of showing no goddamn backbone, chat, showing absolutely no backbone, where, because they all have, this whole floor shares one bathroom, and he wakes up, he goes to the bathroom, he knocks, like, is anyone in there? And then Mr. Dickovich, he comes out of his apartment, chat, just fucking pushes Peter out of the way, and goes in the bathroom, chat, just completely in a haze of sleep. But he opens the door, he says, rent, and then Peter closes the door. Eventually, Peter, he's off to college, off to school, where things aren't going great, shit. He's fucking tripping over himself. He looks dead tired. He drops his book. And then all these kids, shit, I don't remember college being this goddamn cruel, are just walking up to Peter and hitting him with their book bag, chat. Just walking by, just like, pull, like hitting him from side to side, chat. Getting his ass kicked by book bags. And eventually he gets up, chat. And who does he fucking bump into, chat? Dr. Kurt Connors, chat, who will one day become the Lizard, but not in this franchise. Who plays Kurt Connors in this movie? I'm trying to remember, chat. He has a role here and also in Spider-Man 3. Oh, not Cliff Robertson. No, he plays Uncle Ben. Oh, I'm losing it. I used to know this guy's name all the goddamn time. Dylan Baker. I knew it was Baker something. Dylan Baker, chat. Thank you, Chris. Here, Dylan Baker. Yep, he's also Trick or Treat. Quite correct. And so, he pops up right in front of Dr. Connor's face, and he goes, Parker, where are you going? He's like, well, I'm going to class. He's like, Peter, fucking class ended like 5 minutes ago. He's like, where were you? And Peter's just like, I'm sorry, Dr. Connors, I'm trying. He's just like, trying? You're not even attending. Peter, I mean, I know you want to be here, but you gotta be here, okay? Okay, your paper on fusion is still overdue. And Peter's like, I'm sorry, just there's a lot of things going on right now. I plan to do my paper on Dr. Otto Octavius. And he goes, okay, I'm aware of that. Dr. Otto Octavius is a friend of mine, okay? So I know his stuff pretty goddamn well. Just get the paper into me as soon as you possibly can, Peter, but if your ass isn't in class, I'm gonna have to flunk you. And Peter's just like, he's just exasperated. All right, I can't do anything more for you. So Peter, next scene, he's at the fucking Daily Bugle where Jonah Jameson, Chad, JJ, has promptly fired him. Chad, you're fired, Parker. And then, Chad, we get J.K. Simmons, who nails it in every single scene. He's the best actor in the entirety of the trilogy, chat. He is JJ. That's why they brought him back with Far From Home, chat. He is that character. He does every scene he's in. He hits it, chat, every single goddamn time. Thank you, Chris, for the 5 minutes. There's also a pretty funny bit in the DVD where Raimi reveals he was one of the kids who hit Peter with a book bag. Then McGuire seemed genuinely pissed afterward. Oh, he does. He looks pissed. But I love it. He comes in there, you're fired, Parker. And Peter's like, why? And Peter gave him his profile of, or his, binder filled with all sorts of pictures of New York City. He's like, crap. And he's just like, what? I need pictures of Spider-Man, Parker. You have pictures of fucking bird ladies feeding pigeons, old men playing chess. And Peter's just like, well, I tried to capture a different side of New York. He's like, Peter, your heart's in the right place, but you're an idiot, all right? We need pictures of Spider-Man, all right? He's a menace to this city, and I need those goddamn pictures. And like Betty Brant and Ted Raimi and Robinson are coming in back and forth into the office. There's a really cool little thing with Robbie Robertson in this movie where it's very clear that he knows Peter Parker is Spider-Man shit just by his look, and I fucking love that. It's just, listen, I wish they gave Robbie more to do in these films. He's barely in the movies, like only typically when JJ is in the same scene. But I really like the subtlety that they play with his knowing glances at Peter and just like, I know you're fucking Spider-Man, dude. I appreciate that. But he's going back and forth. Things are going crazy. Betty Brant comes in there, Chad. She has the amazing line where she fucking phones JJ and says, your wife's in the line. And JJ is like, what does she want? And she goes, she just want to let you know that she doesn't know where the pocketbook, where your checkbook is. And he says, thank you for the good news, Miss Brant. He fucking hangs up the phone. Just nails it every fucking time. I love it. Good to see you, Nickel the Wise. Hope you're doing very well today. And at this point, Peter's just like, fuck it. All right, Mr. Jameson. And he takes out a picture of Spider-Man and he gives it to Robbie. Here's your page one story. Spider-Man, a menace to New York City. And Robbie's like, he's not a menace. So Robbie's sticking up for Spider-Man, Chad. He knows that he's a goddamn hero. A hero. A hero. Boom, 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 boom. Goddamn right. So they continue on, chat. Peter, he's like, well, my life can't be any more miserable than it already is. At least, I can go meet Dr. Otto Octavius. Spider-Man, or fucking Harry said he introduced me to him, and I'll have a great day of that. We'll end the day on a good note. And so Harry, who has transformed himself, I don't know how this works. So as we all know in Spider-Man 1, Oscorp is a publicly traded company, chap. It's a public traded company, but somehow Harry owns the company. I don't know how that doesn't work that way, okay? Companies are not passed on from like father to son or like that if it's publicly traded. That doesn't make any goddamn sense, chat. It's just fucking weird to me. So, and he's living up the lifestyle, Chad. He's got, these $1,000 suits on. He's got these, custom-made sunglasses, custom-made shoes, Italian leather, Chad, all that goddamn good shit. And he introduces him, Peter Parker, to Dr. Otto Octavius. And he's like, hello, Otto, Nobel Prize. He goes, hello, Harry. And Harry's just like, I want to introduce you to my friend, Dr. Octavius, Peter Parker. And he's like, Harry, listen, I appreciate this. I know what this is, but I just don't have time to speak to anyone right now. And but Harry does bring it up. He's like, I am paying the bills, aren't I, Otto? He's like, yes, you are, Mr. Osborn. You are indeed. And maybe I could take a moment. And Harry's like, okay, you two geniuses, you just go ahead and start talking. Nobel Prize, Otto, Nobel Prize. And so he just fucking walks off. And even Otto's like, you have a weird fucking friend. that Harry Osborn. Peter goes, yeah, he's like a different person every other scene. He really is. And, well, nice to meet you, Dr. Octavius. My name is Peter Parker. He's like, I know who you are. I'm friends of Dr. Kirk Connors. He tells me that you're brilliant. He's like, oh, thank you. He also says you're lazy. And he goes, oh, great. Thank you. And Peter's like, he looks over and sees the machine, Chad, the machine that'll give him the power of the sun in the palm of his hand. And he's like, is this your fusion experiment? And he's like, yes, it is. And Peter starts explaining all the specifics of it. And Otto's like really impressed by him. He's like, holy shit, you're not just some lazy bum that I was led to believe. You're actually, you actually know what you're fucking talking about, Chad. And he takes a shine to Peter, Chad, takes a liking to him. And he invites him for tea with his wife, Rosie, Chad. So this is when Sam Raimi, he's not doing a straight adaptation of the Otto Octavius character. He's doing something very different. As you guys know, some of you might not know, Otto, brilliant but lazy. In the comics, Doc Ock is pretty much an asshole. Even before he, became a supervillain, Chad, he wasn't a great person. And I do appreciate that Raimi, made the attempt to humanize him. How he becomes evil, I just think is stupid. But I thought the game did a much better job, Chad. I thought it did a much better job. The more recent one, 2018. But, here it's just weird. But, he takes a shine to Peter, looks at him as a son he never had. She introduced to his wife, Rosie. They met in college. Otto was studying science. Rosie was studying, English literature. And, they're having a nice little back and forth. But, Rosie, she's like, well, tell us about yourself, Peter. Do you have a girlfriend? Kind of a weird thing to go into. When you're introduced, chat, let me ask you a question. When you're introduced to someone, okay, when you're sitting down, first time you ever met them or whatever, drinking some goddamn tea like they are, drinking all the tea. By the way, you could tell that she is I've seen her, she is playing a stereotype, by the way. You might not recognize it yet. She's playing that liberal arts professor who is this all free thinking and wears these big flowy dresses filled with flowers and everything. There's no doubt that she smoked a lot of fucking doobies in her time. A lot of doobie smoking was had, okay? And she's just very relaxed. And that's why I think she's just talking the way she is to Peter. She says, tell us about yourself, Peter. Do you have a girlfriend? So that's not the first question you ask, Chad, when you introduce to someone. I don't say, you don't go to me like, hi, my name is Chris. Hi, my name is Bill. Bill, do you have a fucking girlfriend? No one does that. No one fucking does that. No, still smoking, no doubt about it, especially in the day of the experiment. No question. Awesome. If it's like an old person, then yes, where they are, you're so handsome, where's your, oh yeah, sure. But she's not that old, okay? She's like 40s maybe. So maybe she could have been high during the scene. That's true, Chet. She could have been drunk. But, he's like, I don't know. What? Not a great response, by the way. It's like, I don't know if I have a girlfriend. And fucking Otto says, you don't know? What does that mean? I think you would know if it was real. And Rosie's like, stop making fun of him, Otto. And she fucking falls asleep. And he's like, listen, Peter, I'm going to tell you right now, like, love can make you sick. And establishing the weirdest subplot to a superhero film I think I've ever seen. Thank you, Batches of the 5 Minute Swinger. Oh, they're definitely swinging. Otto and Rosie are fucking half of New York. There's no question about that. No question about that. So, Otto says, oh yeah, love can make you sick, scientifically proven. And Peter's like, really? He goes, yeah, man, yeah. And the thing is, it'll eat you up inside. You won't be able to do anything you want. It'll destroy who you are, who you were meant to be. But I had this love eating me up when I first met Rosie's on the steps of college, okay? And we're going back and forth. I was studying science. She was studying English lit, and I was trying to, explain to her the theory of relativity, and she was trying to explain, T.S. Eliot. I don't know what the fuck that T.S. Eliot was about. It still confuses me. And Peter says, they're having like ha 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 back and forth, and everything. But he tells me this is advice to Peter. The goddamn, now to get to a woman's heart, Peter, now the goddamn way to get to a woman's heart, poetry. Just read her poetry. Now, ladies, is that true? If men just read poetry to you, then they're just like, oh my God, let's just fucking do it now. I don't think so. I doubt that. Thank you, Darksaber, for the 5 minutes. Remy Rare showcases how intelligent Peter is. I hate that. He gets one scene when he showcases his intelligence, when he talks about the fusion reactor. After that, nothing. Cat's face like, nah. Night Brownie, hell fucking yeah. Night Brownie's all about the poetry. Very good, very good. Now you know something, Chet. Somebody's like, nope. But Dr. Octopus said, Kimberly, Doc Ock said that's the way to get to a woman's heart. I was like, what the hell was he? He was smoking a lot of doobies of Rosie, Chat. She's into that shit. And so we cut to a scene. There's like these little comedic bits, which I think are meant to be funny, but they're not. They're kind of just like, okay, we just cut this out and go to the next scene. But then Peter, who has really taken Otto's advice incredibly seriously, Chat, has taken out several books from the library, Chat, and is just reading poetry. It's like, Jesus Christ, dude, man. He is so socially. That's the thing that bothers me about this version of Peter Parker. Like, listen, I know he's a nerd and everything, but he is so socially awkward. It's like you have probably like a condition. I think you're undiagnosed. I think that's what it really is when it comes down to. So it's just always weird to me. But he's reading poetry, Chat. He's getting his laundry done, and he just does stuff that's like, how did you forget this? He goes up to the dryer, Chat, and he takes out his goddamn clothes, and he realizes out of the washer, even though they're not wet. Which I'm like, how the fuck? Wait a minute. But it's stupid. But he opens up the thing, he takes them out and realizes like all the whites have been turned red and blue because he put his fucking Spider-Man outfit. Now, I don't care who you are. Chat. But we all know, you do not mix the whites with the colors, Chat. I'm not saying that in a racist way. Chat. I'm saying that for laundry. Don't take me out of context, goddammit. It's laundry, though. It's laundry. You don't have mix. When I was saying it, I'm like, this sounds really bad when it's isolated. I'm racist. Cheers, Jeff. Oh my God. Oh my God. Anyway, but yes, out of context line, you don't mess the white clothes with the colored clothes. Darkseid, the 5 Juicy promoting colored clothing segregation. I am that. Yes, I am doing that. Very much so. Oh my God. I'm gonna go grab a drink. I'll be right back. We're gonna pause it here. We are exactly 20 minutes into the film. So I'll be right back. All right, chat. So after, he realized you shouldn't mix the whites with the colors, he is preparing for his day out to go see MJ's play, chat. Something about Ernst. I'm going to finally go see something about Ernst, chat. He's getting all changed, opens his fucking closet up, has his suit and tie, chat, also has a Spider-Man outfit. Which one do I choose? Which one for the occasion, chat? Takes them both. He goes out of his apartment, but he escapes the wrath of Mr. Dickovich, chat. Mr. Dickovich, who has just been shitting, chat. He waddles out of the bathroom because he heard Peter leaving, chat. As we all know, Mr. Dickovich, he has the ears of a cat and the eyes of a rodent. And, he tried to get Peter, chat. Fucking, he pinched one off. And you don't want to pinch one off, chat. It's not a clean cut. It's not a clean cut, chat. You never want to pinch it. All right, then it's like, it's going to take a lot of wiping. It's going to take a lot of wiping down there, chat. Mr. Dickovich, he did that because he wanted his money, and he lost out. And Olga, she goes back into the kitchen, chat, where she makes more pierogies and chocolate cake, as we'll later found out. But he's on the fucking road, chat. He's on his little moped. He's having a great goddamn time. Bought some flowers for MJ. MJ, she's all goddamn giddy about Peter coming to the plate. Everyone's like, you're so giddy, MJ. She's like, I am giddy. Peter's coming. So she's really excited about what's going to happen. Nia Brownie, thank you for the one biddy. Chris, prayer hands. I take responsibility. I take responsibility. T-Mac, thank you. Thank you for the 6 biddies. Her name is Urs. What did I call her? Olga? Hi, whatever. Ursula, Olga. Yeah, it's all the same. It's one of those names. Oh, she's Ursula. She's the villain from A Little Mermaid. You would never. Who would name their daughter Ursula? You just wouldn't. So people, when you hear Ursula, you instantly think the giant, obese octopus woman from The Little Mermaid. No one wants to fucking have that name. I don't get that. Anyway, yeah, that's some mud butt for sure. That's super mud butt. He's like, god damn it. Thank you, Steve, for the 6 biddies. Her name is Gertrude. You guys are making up names for me now. Anyway, and so he bought flowers for her and everything. He's having a great time. He's on his dumb little moped and shit. But oh no, there's a fucking police chase, chat, happening downtown. And the cops are all after these 2 guys, chat. They're in a convertible, and they're fucking blasting at the cops. And Peter just doesn't hear any of this shit. He's listening to music inside of his head, chat, where he hears nothing. And what's that music, chat? Oh, God, I forgot how to say the song. I forgot to go do the goddamn song. And they say that a hero can save us. I'm not gonna stand here and wait. That's the song he's hearing, chat. Constantly. Nah, not Raindrops Falling on His Head. Hero, goddammit. It's Hero, chat. I forgot the fucking song for a second. But while he's listening to Hero, chat, his spider sense tingles, chat. He just like shit. He jumps up in the air. Moped is run over by the would-be people, would-be murderers, chat. Would have fucking killed him right then and there. It would have been a hit and run. Would have been terrible. But he jumps up. He lands, chat. No one knows except for these 2 kids. They go, whoa! And he goes, they're like, holy shit! How'd you do that, dude? And he's like, just eating your green vegetables. And they're like, that's what my mom was always saying. I never believed her. And he goes, yeah. And so, chat, he changes into Spider-Man. And he goes after these criminals. But these criminals, they don't give a fucking shit about anybody, chat. And they're like they're hitting so many goddamn cars. They hit one car, chat. And it propels this one car that's about to hit this. It just flies up in the air, chat. It almost lands on these people. And they're like, oh! But then, chat, they stop because they didn't feel the impending crush. They're not squished underneath this car. And they all come up and they see, chat, they see the webs. And the lady says, it's a web. And then they see Spider-Man swing magic. She goes, go, Spider-Man, go. And they got the Danny Elfman swelling score, chat. And Spider-Man's like, fuck you for destroying my moped. And he jumps on the car, chat, and he just begins pummeling the shit out of these guys. Just, and he eventually whems them up, chat, puts him on a lamppost, and he jumps into the driver's side, chat, and he fucking just drives this thing to the play, chat. Drives this thing to the play. And he manages to change out of his outfit, chat, while driving. I don't know how the fuck he did that. Thank you, Dark Side, for the 5 biddies. And he comes up right to the front entrance, chat, parks the car. Cop's like, hey, buddy, you gotta move it or I gotta tow it. And Peter just goes, whatever. And he walks in, chat. He walks in. But then who's standing there, chat? Who's the goddamn usher? Bruce C. Campbell. I don't know if his middle name is C, chat. We're just going to go with it. But Bruce Campbell's right there, chat. And he's like, excuse me, sir, your shoe's untied. He goes, oh, shit. And Peter ties the shoe. And Bruce Campbell goes, can you fix your tie? And Peter's like, oh, sorry, yes. And he walks on up, and Bruce is like, excuse me, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm here to see the play. He's just like, I'm sorry, sir, but as you can tell, the play has already started, and the doors are closed. And we cannot let anyone in once the doors are closed. And Peter's just like, listen, I know Mary Jane Watson. She had these 2 tickets for me right here. can I just go in? He goes, I can't allow that, sir. He says, listen, I'll just stand in the back. And he says, listen, Mary J. Watson said she wanted you here, but she didn't want you to come late. Am I right? And he's like, fuck. And if I was Spider-Man, I would just punched him. I would just fucking punched him, dragged the body out of there, and walked right in there. That's what I would have fucking done, We cut inside the play, and MJ, she's looking off, from when she's on stage, to see that empty seat, that seat for Peter, and he's not there, she's disappointed. And then Peter, he just sits outside looking like I'm sorry, but if you have spider powers, you could easily sneak into that building. As we all know, for those of us who played the Spider-Man video game, just go through a fucking vent, buddy. Just go through a vent. You can get in there. Just hang upside down. No one looks up in these movies. No one's gonna see. You could have saw the goddamn play at the very least, I just would have said, I was in the back. Sorry, just couldn't get to my seat. Dealing with this asshole usher. It was terrible. But he's just sitting out there like a sad sack, a lump of sad sack, And then we get probably one of the most racially insensitive scenes in this movie, where we hear this Asian woman's rendition of the original 1960s Spider-Man song, from the original 60s animated show. And it's honestly like from the Christmas Story. Fa ra 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 ra, like all that shit. And where she's like, Spider-Man, Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. It's just like, ooh, this is not aged well. Thank you, Dr. The 5 Minis. Those plays are a few $100. They're very, very expensive, man. They're very expensive, those goddamn plays. That's what it is. Thank you for the 5 Minis. It's just like, ooh, spins the web and its sides, catches thieves just like fries. Because you can't say L, They can't say L. I'm like, oh no. This is like, yeah, watch out. Here comes the Spider-Man. It's just like, she comes back. She's a little better at singing. But it's just like, you would not have this in the movie now. You can't do that now. Yeah, that was a little racist, That was a little racist. Anyway, oh man. So he looks over and just goes, wow, that's really racist. And then he sees MJ. She's coming out of the little actors exit, And he's like, should I go over there? Should I not go over there? But he sees that her friend's right there, and they have a little conversation. The friend's like, you want to cut with drinking? And she's like, no, I'm good. And he's like, okay, call me. And it's like, oh, shit. And then he's about to go over there, But then who fucking walks over, A hunk of a man. James, goddamn, what's his name, James Jr., wasn't it? James Jameson. What was his name? John Jameson. That's it, John Jameson, The son of goddamn J. Jonah Jameson, And he walks up to her, and they have a little good smooch session, And Peter's just like, oh, God, just watching them having the sexiest, hottest, wettest smooch that you could possibly have with a mouth, with a mouth hole. And he's like, oh. And eventually, he's going home, and he's just dragging his destroyed moped, where he sees wall after wall after wall of Mary Jane's face, like on the billboard selling that perfume, just to fucking torture him. He's like a wolf man. He's like a wolf of a man. I see what you did there. And I'm gonna tell you right now, the Jameson thing. People speculate something about him. I'm not going to touch on it right now, but later on, there's a scene in this movie which people overanalyze the hell out of, and it's fucking ridiculous. We'll get to it, though. Thank you, Dr. The 5 Minute. First it was Harry Cuck Peter, now it's MJ. Exactly. Peter just can't win. He's a loser. Eventually, though, it's the next day. And Peter was invited to the demonstration for Otto Octavius's fusion reactor, the power of the sun in the palm of his hand. And Otto's out there. He got Harry and everything, all the big-time scientists and corporate people. Everyone's having a good goddamn blast. And Otto, he comes out, and I'm like, I remember when I watched this in the theater, that was like one of the worst lines I think I've ever heard in the movie. But Otto walks out, and he's like saying, before we begin, I just want to let everyone know that we found a roll of $100 bills. And we have the rubber band right here, and everyone goes, ha, 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 hilarious, because it's implied that he took the money, and you know the rubber band's so I'm like, Jesus Christ, I'm like, wow, the ultimate fucking dad joke, exactly, and even Harry's just like, it's not fucking funny. Harry's the one who was like, I'm Harry in that scene. It's not fucking funny. You love that. No, you don't. You people are lying. It's so stupid. And even he says it's a terrible joke. Sam Raimi made me say it. But one of the fucking scientists up in the crowd, he's like, well, because I was like, hey, I'm going to demonstrate this fucking sustained fusion reaction. It'll be cheap electricity for everyone, cheap power for everyone. Won't rely on anything as unstable as nuclear energy or fossil fuels. Those will be a thing of the past. You know, it's a huge find for Oscorp, chat, and then they provide funding for, you know, Otto Octavius' life work. But one of these scientists are like, well, excuse me, Dr. Octavius, how can you maintain that type of reaction with us being here? And I was like, let me show you. And we get one of the weirdest parts of the movie, chat, where everyone's just kind of, oh, I guess that's how he does it. Where he walks up to, they wheel out this big thing that's under his goddamn sheet. And I controlled the fusion reaction with these. And he takes the sheet off, chat, and it's the 4 mechanical arms, okay? The hallmark. The goddamn thing that defines Dr. Otto Octavius, chat, visually. And he's like, with these 4 mechanical arms, I will be able to control the fusion reaction. And, you know, he fucking gets in here. By the way, the arms look fantastic. The puppetry on these are great. The CGI on the arms look great. And he fucking gets on this thing. They wrap it around his tummy. And great how this is all shot, by the way. All the hentai tentacles. Here comes the tentacles. Goddamn right. You're ahead of me, Andy. You're ahead of me. Dark Side of the Vibe is I'd be wary of creating a mini son of popularity. I would be too, okay? I don't want that kind of power in the palm of my hand. And so, I love this, how this is shot. Where it shows how it's not only just the harness, chat, it's in his entire spine all the way up to the back of his neck. Like right up to the nape of his neck. And so it goes around him, it clinks into place. By the way, the entire thing that he wore was about 75 pounds, chat. So it was heavy when Alfred Molina was wearing. And he puts this thing on, and like all these little wires go all in his goes, ooh, everyone's like, ooh, it goes right into his spine, chat. And then he looks up into the fucking sky and goes, and he has control of the arms, chat. Complete articulation over all the arms. People are like, holy fucking shit. They're like all scared of him. And he's like, yes, with the advanced artificial intelligence in these arms, I have full control and full use of movement. Also, they're resistant to heat and magnetism, which I don't know how you can make metal resistant to magnetism. Apparently he made it, yeah. Somehow he fucking did it. And then one of these reporters they asked a very important question. They say, Dr. Octavius, if the AI is as advanced as you say it is, how are you able to maintain control and from the arms not to control you? He goes, I'm so glad you asked that, ma'am. I built an inhibitor chip, which I'm going to point to directly in my neck right here. You see this inhibitor chip? Because I have the inhibitor chip in my neck, you see the inhibitor chip? Therefore, the arms can never take me over. But if the fucking inhibitor chip will ever be destroyed, boy, we'd all be fucked. Let's begin the experiment. Now, chat, if I saw these arms for the first time, I'd be like, holy fucking shit, that's amazing. You know the applications for those arms, chat? Let's just touch the surface. For paraplegics, for people who are paralyzed, for warfare, chat, for the medical industry, for the industrial industry, all the industries around the world, chat. This is one of the greatest inventions of mankind, and no one gives a shit about it. Like, no one fucking cares. And that's why I'll always give it to the Spider-Man 2018 video game, chat, where where they like, no, this is what we're working on. It was always leading to a thing for people who became paralyzed or weren't able to use their arms or the legs or paraplegics. Like, this was the advancement. I thought that was so brilliant. I loved how they handled this. Like, you picked up the ball that Sam Raimi dropped with the whole, like, the fucking fusion reactors, the sun. It's like, that's dumb. Like, make it about these arms. Make it about that. And then, like, Otto Octavius's muscle degeneration, chat, that's why he made the arms, not only for other people, but for himself, because he had that disease, that degenerative disease that was making his muscles atrophy. Well, he had that brain condition where he wouldn't be able to use his own limbs anymore. That's why he was making this. But, You know, that's why I always thought. That's why I thought the way they had Ock go from good to evil in the game, significantly better, chat than the movie. It doesn't make any sense in the fucking movie. Just like I'm just bad now. Thank you, Tenement, for the 5 biddies. Here's a real question: if he was able to create artificial limbs, what the fuck? He didn't help his buddy Kirk. Ah, yes. Another great example. Great fucking. I'm sure Kirk could have used a fucking octopus hentai mechanical tentacle. That would have been great, but yeah. Muscular dystrophy. That's what it was, Nickel. Thank you. Muscular dystrophy. That's what he had in the video game. But he's like, all right, I'm going to take control. And so I need a very specific metal, tritium. So this is another weird thing in the movie chat. So this thing, this fusion, right, it's going to basically, you're going to be able to do whatever you want with it. You know, it's going to have cheap power, cheap electricity, all that shit. But you need a specific element to get it going, chat. You need an element. I don't think it's real. I think it's made up for the movie. It's called tritium. And apparently, Oscorp owns all the tritium, chat. And there's only about 25 pounds of it on the planet. So if you're telling me that you need this specific mineral to start this reaction, how is this going to be able to sustain itself? Is this thing just going to be able to sustain itself forever? Like how? How is it? If you want to sustain itself, isn't that also dangerous, which we'll later find out in the movie? It doesn't make any fucking sense. It is real. There you go, Jay. There's only 25 pounds on the fucking planet. Let's not fucking do it. The precious tritium. And he thanks, thank you, Batches of the 5 biddies. And he thanks Oscorp for it, and, Harry's just like, happy to pay the bills, Otto. And Otto, they fucking turns the machine on and things, and Rosie's right there, gives him his iconic Doc Ock goggles, he only wears in this scene here. He has sunglasses later on in the movie, but he has these iconic Doc Ock goggles. And he starts controlling the hands, or pushing on, all that shit. But then, Peter's picking up on some stuff. He notices... Because even Peter, initially in the scene, chat, when he was talking with him over smoking doobies and drinking some green tea, he says, how are you going to be able to maintain the reaction? I mean, have you done the calculations? I mean, that's something like that's never been done before. And Otto's like, I've done it, Peter. Don't worry about it. I figured it out. You think I'd fucking destroy the city? And so, chat, Peter starts to notice all this metal is being attracted to the fusion ball, chat. And we got Doc Ock's iconic line, the power of the sun in the palm of my hand. And Peter's noticing all the metal going towards. He's like, that's not good. And eventually, chat, he notices all the metal in the room is going towards the chat. It's going inside the ball, and the fucking machine is overloading. Everything's fucking exploding. People are like, ah, shit! Jewelry's being, sucked off of people's necks and shit, chat. People's, the metallic filings. People's teeth are going, ah! And their teeth are getting ripped out, chat. They're going towards the thing. It's very fucking dangerous. And people are running out. And I was like, I got it. And Harry's like, fuck, Otto, turn off the machine. I was like, I got it. And Harry's just like, God damn it, Otto, this is my company. You gotta do what I say. And chat, right before Harry's about to get hit by this big old goddamn filing desk, who comes into the rescue, chat? Spider-Man. Spider-Man comes in there and saves Harry, chat, puts him aside. And Harry's just like, this doesn't change anything, Spider-Man. And Peter's like, okay, I guess it doesn't change anything. And then he goes up, chat. He's observing the fusion reaction, and Dr. Otto Octavius is like, what are you doing? And Spider-Man's like, I'm shutting this shit down. I was like, no! And he fucking bashes Spider-Man with one of his mechanical hentai tentacles, chat. But while this is all going on, Rosie, she's kind of caught in between all this shenanigans, chat, and the metal on the windows, chat, it's breaking, it breaks, and all this glass flies at Rosie and Otto, and, Rosie it's very done in a Sam Raimi way, where she sees her own reflection. She's going, ah, as the glass is embedded in her fucking face, chat. She's blinded by glass that goes inside her face, her neck, her mouth, or takes off her ears, and she just goes down dead. And Doc Ock, he blocks the glass with his mechanical arms. He's like, Rosie! And then, because of the reaction, chat, so unstable, one of the little lightning bolts or whatever hits his back, and it goes, and the metal tentacles, chat, the harness is being fused to his own body, his thick, rotund body, chat. And the inhibitor chip explodes on the back of his neck, chat. But Spider-Man, he recovers, and he fucking pulls the goddamn power cord, chat. Just a power cord. Pulls that shit out, and he shuts down the machine. And then the reaction ends, chat. The reaction ends. Then everyone's fucking outside, chat. Rosie, she's fucking dead. She doesn't have a face anymore, chat. It just looks like, it looks like hamburger meat, chat. You know that hamburger meat you get from the grocery store? It looks like that, except you punch it. You punch it, chat, and get the blood come out. That's what Rosie's face looks like now, chat. She's not smoking any more doobies. And they put her into the goddamn ambulance. Thank you, Dark Slayer. with the 5 biddies. And thank you, Harpo1, for the 3 biddies. Big oops from Otto. Big oops from Otto, chat. It's a horrible way to Rosie win. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Feel ground beef, exactly, Austin. Like goddamn ground beef. So Rosie's dead. And one of these guys, they walk out just like, Jesus Christ, with a power like that, with the power of the sun in the palm of his hand, he could have destroyed the city. We're lucky Spider-Man was here. And Harry's just like, I'm ruined. Now all I have left is Spider-Man. It's just like, okay. And one of his bodyguards even goes, sir, he saved your life. He insulted me by touching me. He's like rubbing himself. He's like, we got to get you going, Mr. Osborn, before the press gets here. He puts on his sunglasses and he goes in his car and he drives off. And Peter's just fucking sitting there, just standing there, just like, well, that wasn't great. That's not good. But then, chat, we transition to the next scene and we get one of the absolute best scenes in the movie. And this is an homage to the original, the Evil Dead franchise, particularly Evil Dead 2, chat. So goddamn good. The Elite, thank you for the 5 biddies. Chris Herman and Rick James' voice, thank you, Elite. Appreciate you so much. Hope you're doing very well. Good to see you just in the middle of my Spider-Man 2 review, where Otto, he's being prepped for operation, chat. The doctors are going, like, they have a full fucking medical team, chat. They never dealt with something like this. But because apparently the metal has fused with his spine, it's gotten really bad. Steve, thank you so much for the 15. Anyone here anyone here take shop class? But while they're all going over that, he's explained to them, the metal has infused not only around his skin and muscles, but it's also inside of his spine. But the first thing we got to do is just get these arms off of him before we can get into the nitty-gritty details, okay? I mean, this is gonna be hours upon hours, dozens of hours of surgeries, multiple surgeries. It's going to get fucking messy here, okay? And then he brings out the fucking saw, chat. He's like, anyone here take shop class? Everyone goes, ha, ha, ha. But then he notices one of the fucking arms just starts moving. It just shakes. He goes, that was weird. He's about to go in with the saw, chat, but then he looks up and he sees in the guy's glasses one of the fucking tentacles just looking at him. And he's like, what the fuck? And he turns around and goes, rah! And this thing just grabs his face, chat, and just crushes his goddamn head. And then all the tentacles, it's brilliant. All the tentacles come alive, chat, and they all start attacking the people. And all of this is basically paying homage to something like Evil Dead, like how the shots are lined up, chat. It's like the close-ups and how the camera is following each tentacle. It's like an evolution of a lot of the shots from Evil Dead 1 and 2. It's a fantastic homage. As Otto Octavius, who's unconscious, but the tentacles, they're so advanced, they're artificially intelligent. They're basically protecting him, protecting themselves by killing all the people, and they are fucking murdering these people, Chad. It's not like, oh, I think they made it. None of these people made it. They're all dead. I just love the way it just grabs someone's face and just throws them across the room, chat. And they just hit the concrete, boom, all their bones are just broken, chat. There's so much internal bleeding. Grabbing this one woman, chat, as her fingernails, like, ah! As she's being dragged in the darkness, chat, like her nails are making marks on the floor. She's dragged into there, chat. She's ripped apart by the tent. I bet if this is rated R, Sam Raimi would have definitely had Doc Ock just ripping people's limbs off. That I feels like that's what he wanted to do. This one guy at one point, chat, he's like thrust against the wall by one of the arms. He's holding him against the wall, but he looks to his right, chat, and we see the close up of the chainsaw, and he fucking, just like in the movie, chat, just like in Evil Dead, where he grabs the chainsaw, and goes, just trying to cut off, chat. Even like the same scream is very reminiscent of Bruce Campbell's scream when he cuts his own arm off in Evil Dead 2. And all the other tentacles, they kill all the rest of the medical staff, and they all come for the guy, chat, and it goes, and you see like their own, like you see through the hentai tentacles themselves. You don't want to see through a hentai tentacle, but Sam Raimi gave you the visual as they just all come upon this man and just rip his ass apart. It's so graphic. This scene, I was like, wow. I was so impressed. Oh, I was so impressed. Thank you, Chris. There's the 5 biddies. Appreciate that. So when this is, after this scene, it kind of is spoiled a little bit, though. It's kind of spoiled a little bit, chat, where after, I was like, what's going on? And the tentacles, I like how the tentacles, have these little, almost like little fingers themselves, that pop out, and you, take off his little bandage around his eyes, and he looks around, he sees, the massacre of all the people he's just murdered, the tentacles just murdered, and he goes, oh, no. He has a Darth Vader no. I went, that was the one thing I'm like, That's not great. I mean, but it could be like Bruce Campbell. It's like, no. Kind of like at the end of Evil Dead 2. I felt like it was an homage to that, but only Bruce Campbell can sell something like that in that type of movie. I mean, it felt like, I know exactly what you're doing here. I thought the tentacle stuff worked, but that was the one thing. Like, only like an actor like Bruce Campbell can sell something like that. That's the one thing. Andy, tentacles in this era were practical. Sam went to Steve and wanted to do as much practical as they could, and this was their best test. Steve was gambling in Vegas the night before they were supposed to shoot and drove straight to the Sony lot and set this up. Also, John Landis is doctor in this and gets... Oh, he's that guy. Oh, look at that. I did not know. Wow. Thank you, Andy. That's awesome. I had no idea. It's an amazing scene, shit. I highly recommend it. You can watch this on YouTube. It's great. Holds up to this day. The no is like... you can go back and forth to it, chat. I mean, it's an homage to his Evil Dead films. There's no doubt about that. And all of a sudden, chat, we cut, and he fucking is just bursting out the fucking hospital entrance, chat. And I just love this scene because how he's just walking, and the tentacles are kind of helping him walk too, as they're like on the ground and shit. I also noticed this as well. The bottom tentacles are a little bit larger than the upper ones. Like they're, I don't know, just for grabbing things. The other ones are like a little more articulate. They're smaller, but they do specific things. Like they come up with the little hands that come out, and also they have the spikes in them. So it's like, I like that each tentacle or set of tentacles does something different, or they have a specific look. I think that was kind of cool. That was a good little visual thing there to make them distinct from one another. And so he's walking out, and he goes off in the traffic, and he goes, holy shit. And I love this shot. This holds up to this day, where he just fucking throws this. He like the two tentacles are on the ground to hold him in place. So I love that they design like how would he move? How would he brace himself for certain things? So the two tentacles hold him to the ground while the upper ones throw the car up into the air. There's certain things like that. And I was like, that's kind of unique. And then he hears like the police sirens, and he goes, oh, and the tentacles looks like with his eye line too, and he wanders off. And eventually he comes to like a dock chase. He's a dock, and he's like, I'm gonna spend my time at this wharf, and he goes inside the wharf. And eventually, Chad, we cut to the fucking Daily Bugle. Daily Bugle's like, holy shit. There's a goddamn supervillain that's walking around, and we have never seen this kind of destruction since the Green Goblin name drop. Ha ha ha! But you know, fucking JJ's like, we gotta come up with a name with this guy, and Ted Raimi comes in there. He's like, how about Dr. Octopus? And JJ's like, nah, it's stupid, it's dumb. And Ted's like, oh, I guess it is. He's like, how? And you know, Ted Raimi's throwing out more ideas, Science Squid, and JJ's like, crap. And he's just like, how about Doctor Strange? And JJ's like, that's great, that's brilliant. But it's taken, and it's so funny, Chad. Like they established again, that's just kind of like an in joke. Like I'm sure because they didn't own the property to Doctor Strange, Sony didn't own it to do a Doctor Strange. But that's like a nice little joke. But it's weird that Sam Raimi will now be the director of Doctor Strange 2. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. It's like, oh wow, it's funny how that worked out. It was always meant to be, Chad. He predicted it 16 goddamn years ago. And JJ says, well, how about Dr. Octopus? And Ted Raimi's like, that's brilliant, sir. He goes, yes, Doc Ock. It'll be great. So he just took his... Poor Ted Raimi, Chad, always being so goddamn abused. And, you know, fucking, you know, Peter, he walks in, and he's like, Parker, where the hell have you been? I've been needing pictures of Spider-Man. There's a fucking monster on the loose. And he goes, I'm sorry, sir. I just wasn't, I've been busy with a whole lot of shit. A lot of crazy shit's been going on lately. And he goes, listen. I need you to take these pictures. You're fired, Parker. And he's like, and then Betty's like, no, fucking the goddamn, the special presentation, the ball. He goes, oh shit, I'm gonna need you for that. Parker, you're on fire, come back here. He's like, my son, the astronaut, he's gonna be awarded a big major award for being a big goddamn hero, okay? Need you to go to the fucking, ball and take pictures of him, and then take more pictures of Spider-Man and take pictures of Dr. Octopus. And he's like, there's the door. And then we get this super weird transition where it becomes all water-like, but then we're back in the dock, Chad. We're back in the dock with Dr. Otto Octavius, Chad. Or Doc Ock, as he's now called. And Doc Ock is sad, Chad. He's real sad because Rosie's dead. His experiment failed, Chad. He's not feeling great about himself. And he's just like, oh, look at me. I got these fucking mechanical arms on me. And the arms are like, what the fuck, dude? We're trying to help you. And shit, like they're all moving around, like they're communicating with each other. And he's just like, oh, Peter was right. I miscalculated. Then the arms kind of coming in the scene. They're always like, and he goes, I couldn't have miscalculated. No, he was wrong. I was completely right. I just need to make the containment field larger in order to have the power of the sun in the palm of my hand. What's that? And he starts realizing that the arms themselves are talking to him. And he goes, the inhibitor chip. Gone. It's gone. Oh no. But he's like, he doesn't, because the arms have taken over, then he's not really in his right mind. I don't like the whole arms are smarter than him thing. That's just so weird to me. And it just so happens to not matter anymore when we get to the end of the movie. It was like, I control you now. It's just like, why? You couldn't control them any time. So I never liked it. They turn him into Gollum. He's like, yeah, they absolutely turned into Gollum. And also his accent slips out here. Because I think, like, Alfred Molina I think he's, like, Spanish and Scottish. But I think he speaks of a Scottish accent. Thank you, Mr. Armadinger, for the 8 biddies. Oh, he's British. Gotcha. Tentacles then say, Doc, we're losers like you. That's what they were saying. No, they were pumping him up. You're saying you're a winner, Otto. You're a fucking winner. Because they were saying it wasn't your fault. Fuck them, man. You're going to do you. And he's like, yeah, I couldn't have miscalculated. I was absolutely right. We just got to build the containment field, make it bigger and better than ever. And it's like his accent comes out in that scene, but we'll need money. Oh, we could steal it. No, I'm not a thief. And the arms go like, and he's like, it would be a crime not to build it. We'll build it here, and nothing can stop us. Nothing. It's super over dramatic. It's like, okay. It's like he is hamming it up in this scene, chat. He's hamming it up. Eventually, though, we cut to a bank chat where Peter is with Aunt May, and they're trying to get a loan. So they can keep the goddamn house. And we get a surprise. I forgot he was in this movie, chat, but Joel McHale. Joel McHale is in this film, chat. He plays the banker. So Jeff from Community, it's fucking canon, chat. So apparently before he became a lawyer, he worked in a bank. Maybe it was an internship or something. And Aunt May, she's asking for a loan because they just opened up a new account there. But fucking Jeff from Community, chat, he's saying, like, listen, based on your assets, your husband's life insurance policy, what you have, it's not enough to give you, like, this bank will not give you a loan based on those things. I'm sorry, but we just can't do it. Thank you, Mr. Hummendinger, for the, how many biddies was that? The 7 biddies. He went full Tevye. He played, that's right, you fill in the roof. That's right, on Broadway. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Hummendinger, for the 7 biddies. But he's like, based on your assets, we can't give you this loan. And Aunt May's like, well, at least we can get the toaster, the free toaster. And Jeffrey Community's like, actually, that's only if you open up an account with us with $300 in your savings. And she's like, oh, you're right. Yes, that's quite right. And Peter's just like, Jesus Christ, this is just not working out. This is not great. And while this is all going on, he looks over and goes, is that fucking Dr. Octopus? And we see Doc Ock, chat, who has decided to, the logic here is so weird to me, where he's like, I need money to buy all these very expensive things. The thing is, though, chat, why is he buying them and not just stealing them? Like, what company is going to just give him this stuff, chat, after he pays them? And by the way, paying him with coins, which I'm like, why coins? There's a reason why they use coins in here and not cash, and it's most of the deal with Sammy wanted a specific sound effect and a visual. But like, what was Otto's thinking process? Was that I'm gonna get money, which I'm then gonna buy this equipment? But no, you can just go up to a fucking store and buy this shit. You're gonna have to order this. How are you gonna order this? You can't, like, send him a check? How is he going to open a fucking account now? It doesn't make nothing makes fucking sense. Okay, Martin Tom. Listen, it's true. It's absolutely true. It doesn't make any goddamn sense. Are you really putting logic in a bus? Yes, I am. It doesn't make any offshore account. Sure. Okay. He just said that he has an account in Switzerland. I get you. Okay. In the Bahamas or something. Anyway, so he fought. I do like his outfit in there in the movie, chat. I do like his coat, the red jacket that he had, like the red vest. All that shit works. The hat. I wish he wore the fedora more. He rocks that fucking fedora where he rips off the back of his coat. Arms fucking pop out. How the fuck did he hide this in his coat? I have no fucking idea. But each one attaches to the goddamn safe, chat. And, you know, it's like, holy shit. And, like, he rips that thing off and he throws it, chat. He throws it, almost crushing Peter Parker, Aunt May, and Jeff from Community, chat. But Peter, he fucking pushes himself and Aunt May and Jeff out of the goddamn way, chat, as the safe smashes down. And Aunt May is like, oh my God. And then Peter, he's looking around. He just runs away. He runs away. And Aunt May's like, Peter, don't leave me. Which always made me feel bad when I first watched it. Because Jeff is going to say, oh, your fucking nephew's a real hero. He's just like, oh. But I just... Peter, don't leave me. As he just runs away. And all the fucking security guards, they all come around Ock and they go, put up your arms! All of them! And he's like, no. And he just fucking holds himself down and throws these guys, kills them. You know, he killed these guys, I'm telling you right now. And he walks into the giant safe and he picks up all these giant bags of coins. Now, the reason why they had the coins in the scene, chat, is because Sam Raimi, for the visual effects, so the visual effect and the sound, when Doc Ock throws them at Spider-Man, they burst and all the coins are hitting the walls and the floor and stuff. It's a cool it's a cool audio sound. And the visual, too, of all these sparkling coins in the air. It looks better than, I guess, the money where it just goes poof, poof. It's because it's cash, Chad. It's paper. So I understood why he did, but it's just weird. Why fucking... It's like the Susan B. Anthony coins? He's stealing the Susan B. Anthony coins that are worth $1? Okay. All right. Cool, Doc Ock. But he's throwing this around. Spider-Man comes in, and, you know, Doc Ock's like, nah! He throws him at Spider-Man. Spider-Man goes, here's your change. And he throws it right back at Doc Ock and just hits him. Now, the thing is, chat, again, you got to go over the movie. Listen, you got to go with it. Where Spider-Man flings this at him and hits Doc Ock. It would have caved in his fucking chest. But it's a superhero film. You just got to go with it. He's, you know, he can withstand the power of the coins. And he just begins throwing all this shit at Spider-Man. Spider-Man's dodging him back and forth. Also, Chad, I forgot. There's a whole, I just thing I missed early in the movie. After Peter sees MJ kissing John Jameson, he hears some police sirens. He goes after it, chat, and he's mad. He's like really mad, chat, and he's web swinging. At one point, his webbing doesn't come out of his arms. He's like, what? And he falls down. He hits like a building. He's like, what the hell? And it's because, chat, love is making him so sick. The love is making him so sick, chat, that he's losing his Spider-Man powers, which I'm like, that is stupid. That's the one subplot which I don't like. I know Raimi wanted to do his own version of Spider-Man No More, this very iconic story where Peter Parker briefly gives up Spider-Man because he just wants to live a normal life. T-Mac, thank you so much for the 5 biddies. It's the same coin, Scrooge McDuck's ones. Yeah, exactly the same goddamn coins. But it's just weird to me. It's a plot element that I just didn't feel like was necessary. Like, I wanted to have a visual for that where he's actually losing his powers. I didn't like that because people always defend the organic webbing. I don't like the organic webbing. I like the fact that he has to make his own webbing. That's why I like the Tom Holland Spider-Man film so much, where they show him making all this stuff or upgrading the stuff that Stark has given. Like, he was already making his own webbing, showing off his genius intellect. I always dug that. And the excuse people always use the organic webbing, he's like, well, now he doesn't have to do that anymore. But now, Sam Raimi just went ahead and he's like, you can't use the organic webbing. So I was like, what the fuck? So I never liked that. Because there's, once you think of it as a superhero equivalent of erectile dysfunction, it makes more sense. That made him even more. So he just can't get it up. So Peter's just so sad he can't get it up anymore. Wow. That spider splooge is just not working. Dark Slayer, that subplot, it's dumb. It's a dumb subplot. It's one of the weakest elements of this film. It's a frustrating thing to have in here. You could have done, I also forgot the comedic scene when he goes down the elevator and you get that cameo by that actor where, you know, he goes and he sees Peter, you know, he sees Peter in the fucking Spider-Man suit and he goes, shit, whatever. And they just kind of stand there and they go back and forth and he goes, that's a cool Spider-Man suit. And the guy goes, thank you. And he goes, where'd you get it from? And Peter's like, I made it. And he's like, oh, shit. Looks uncomfortable. And Peter goes, it's itchy. Also rides up in the crotch a bit. And the guy goes, And they stand there for like another minute until they finally like, oh shit, no one's pressing the button for the elevator. They all go downstairs. I forgot that scene. So that happened. So now during the middle of the Doc Ock fight, he can't use his webbing anymore. And Doc Ock, he fucking flings one of the bags of money at him and nails him, chat. Gets him like a bug on the wall. And the coins all fucking are all over the place. And one rolls towards, Joel McHale, chat, pockets it. And he goes, no! He goes, ah! She's just slapping people. Aunt May slaps so many people in this movie, chat. She's hitting everybody. She touches to Norman Osborn. Remember fucking in Thanksgiving, chat, in Spider-Man 1, where Norman's just like, he's going for some of the stuff, and he goes, Norman? And she's like, then she slapped fucking Joel McHale, and she's about to beat the shit out of Doc Ock in half a second. He goes, ow! And so, Doc Ock, he grabs Spider-Man, chat, and he's like, you're fucking annoying. And he's like, I have a knack for that. Not anymore. And he just begins crushing. I love this chat of the puppetry. I remember this was the first image I saw of the movie before they even had a trailer, chat. I forget what magazine it was, but I'll remember the circumstances of it. So it must have been like 2003, maybe even earlier. No, it was 2003, where I think it might have been like a Entertainment Weekly or something, where they had it on the front cover, or maybe it was like an entire page. It was like 2 pages, chat, where it showed Doc Ock's tentacles crushing Spider-Man. It was that close-up shot we see in the movie of Doc Ock's tentacles crushing Spider-Man's head, and I was like, oh my god, it was beautiful. I mean, I was like, oh, that's when I first learned, because I was dumb. I was a dumb little kid. Chat. I was so stupid. I'm stupid. And I didn't know that Doc Ock was the villain, and that was the first visual thing I saw. It's like, Doc Ock's gonna be the bad guy? Whoa, cool! So I was so fucking excited. Maybe it was Wizard. Maybe it was Wizard Magazine produced graphics, yeah. AJ Daniels, you never have to look at this movie as Sam Raimi doing his own version of Spider-Man. You can't really, and you have to look at a movie this as Sam Raimi doing his own version of Spider-Man, and you can't really come in with your knowledge of the comics and judge it. Yeah, that's true. It's very true. He's doing his own take. That is very much the case of that. Well, but he's fucking crushing Spider-Man, Chad. You're fucking annoying and shit. But Spider-Man, the webbing starts working. He can get it up again. He can get it up again, Chad. Erectile dysfunction. He took the pill. He's good. And he webs up these desks, Chad, and he pulls them towards himself. And Doc Ock's like, oh, shit, because one's coming from the goddamn right, one's coming from the left. And so he stops the one coming from the right, Chad, but the left one, boom, fucking hits. Great shot. Just fucking hits him, Chad, and propels him out the window. The choreography in these fights are great. These all hold up pretty much. I mean, there's some dated CGI, yes. There's some rubbery Doc Ock scenes, especially when you see Ralph Familia's like, that doesn't look like him, but very good choreography, especially in the bank. And so he's thrown out the goddamn window, hits a taxi cab, and this one woman just gives this, I always think something, this one woman gives this blood-curdling scream, as all the police amass shit on the bank and everything. And Doc's like, and he's like, I need a hostage. And so his tentacles, which apparently have everything. His tentacles are like Batman's utility belt. They have, for any situation, he's got inside his hentai tentacles, chat, where he reaches into the crowd, and one of the tentacles unleashes this smaller tentacle metallic rope thing that wraps around Aunt May. Oh no, Aunt May. She's like, oh! And he's like, don't follow me or she dies. And the old broad gets it. And he's going up this fucking building. She's going up this goddamn building. And Spider-Man's like, holy shit, Aunt May! And he's coming up that fucking building, chat, as Aunt May's like, oh! And he just fucking, while he's going up the building too, we get some cool references, some other Sam Raimi references, where this one girl is like, do you guys hear that? Because you hear this thunk, 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 and that's when you realize Doc Ock's coming up a building, chat, where his tentacles pierce the fucking sides of the building, and then they go, and she runs up to the camera, like over the bazoonga's all jiggling and bouncing, and goes, It was supposed to be a callback to 1933's King Kong, when King Kong makes his way up there, chat, but also, I mean, just to Sam Raimi's Evil Dead 2. When you have the one female character, chat, forget it, Baba Joe, when she goes, and the eyeball goes inside of her mouth. It was supposed to be that reminiscent of 2 different things. So thank you, Darkslayer, for the 5 days. Shame on you. Oh, we'll get to it. We'll get to it. Hold on, Darkslayer. And so while Doc Ock's climbing up the goddamn building, Spider-Man engages in the fight, trying to make sure Aunt May's safe, trying to reach for her. But Doc Ock, he's like, they're fighting everything. And they fight, and then Aunt May, Doc Ock drops her. She's like, fuck it, I don't give a shit. Because Doc Ock already, chat, he's gone from, love can make you sick. You just gotta be honest with yourself, Peter, to dropping old ladies off the sides of buildings. I'm sorry, it doesn't work. It just doesn't work, chat. You go from that. I don't care how advanced the arms are. It's not a good explanation. He drops her, and Peter's like, oh, man, May! And he fucking dives down there. She used to get really dated shot here. She's like, oh! Because listen, no, I'm not hating on Rosemary Harris. I'm making fun of her, no doubt about that, her performance, no doubt. I'll give her some respect later on in the movie. But there's this one shot of her falling into a green screen, and so obvious, all they have behind her is a giant fan, and her just kind of going, oh, but it's so fake. She's like, oh! And then Peter goes, yeah, and he webs her, and he throws her up in the air trying to catch her, but Doc Ock, he hits him again, as on top of him. And she's thrusting into the air, chat, and she manages to hook her umbrella onto a statue going, whoa! And she's like, oh, help me! Someone help me! As Doc Ock and Spider-Man are fighting, he's like, I'm coming, Aunt May! Where he's saying Aunt May, like, he doesn't even shit, he doesn't give a fuck anymore. And eventually, like, first of all, Aunt May would not be able to support her own body weight. I'm sorry, she wouldn't be able to. She would have fallen instantly, chat. She would have held on for like a second, and then, boom, hit the ground like that. But she's like, oh, and the umbrella starts ripping, chat. But thankfully, chat, her feet make contact with the ground. Not like she fell, chat, and she just broke every goddamn bone in her body. No, thankfully there was a ledge right there. And she looks up into the statue's face. She's the face of an angel. She goes, oh, thank you. Thank you. And then Doc Ock grabs her again because he fucking threw Spider-Man halfway across the block into another building. And then Spider-Man, he's ended up in a sweatshop, chat. And he fucking comes to, gets outside the window, and Doc Ock is like, oh, to hell with you, Spider-Man. Now the death of this woman will be on your conscience. It's like, okay, that's a little weird. And Spider-Man's like, hold on, I got it. And he's like, I can get over there quick. So he fucking webs the sides of the window, chat, and he backs up, about to catapult himself over, stretching his webbing as much as possible. And Doc Ock's like, come on, you son of a bitch, come on. And then Spider-Man fucking, let's go. Boom! He thrusts himself forward, chat, going towards there. And then Doc Ock, which his tentacles apparently have giant swords in them. They have spears. What is the application in his fusion experiment where his arms need to have fucking swords popping out of them? I don't know. That is not explained in the goddamn movie at all. But then Aunt May's like, whoa! She says, shame on you! Shame on you! And she as soon as Doc Ock's he thrusts his hentai tentacle at Spider-Man, she goes, whoa! And she fucking blindsides him, chat. Hits him in the side of the head, brains him. He's like, ah! Slow-mo and everything. And he fucking drops. She's like, Jesus Christ, you're not worth it. And she's like, oh! She's falling again. Spider-Man dies for her, chat. Catches her in midair, and he swings off, goes, woohoo! And then Doc Ock's like, fuck it. And he grabs some of the money, chat, and he takes off. Police are firing at him and everything. Eventually, Spider-Man, he drops Aunt May. It's like, I've been wrong about you, Spider-Man. He goes, all right, bye, everybody. And he swings off, and all these other hot girls surround Aunt May. It's like, Spider-Man, take me. And they're jumping, chat, because, by the way, in all Sam Raimi Spider-Man films, as we know, chat, no woman owns a bra. Everyone, no sports bras, nothing, chat. It's all, the bazungas are all hanging out, chat. The nipples can be seen through all the material. I don't know who fucking was the wardrobe person for Kristen Dunst, but my God. What must have been written when she was cast, chat, when it got to the wardrobe people, says, no bras. No bras for any of the women in these movies. Because they're all... Spider-Man, they're all jiggling. I think even Aunt May didn't wear a bra. breaks the shade, it's true. But actually, think of the 5 buddies. If their action went bad, the spikes are to crack the nuclei at the center of parts, so the reaction can't continue. Fair enough, Bat Shields. Fair enough. You got me there. Zuma, why are you trying to make the Raimi looks like a Bayfa? I'm not doing that, man. That's what they are. I'm telling you, man. If you look at Kristen Dunst's wardrobe in these movies, there is not a single brassiere. I'm gonna tell you that right now. for giving them a race. Oh my god. Oh, that's the line. That Spider-Man says to her. We sure showed him. She says, "We," like she did the fucking work. It's like you got one on him, okay? Were you gonna save yourself from falling Aunt May twice? Was that gonna happen? I don't think so. But she always gotta take all the goddamn credit. So. After that little fucking excursion, Doc Ock, he's building the goddamn the thing. He's building his contraption shit. That you get various scenes of that. But eventually, chat. Thank you, Bachelors of the 5 Biddies. My uncle watching Spider-Man during the Upside Down Kiss. Dirty old man. Goddamn right. God, so goddamn dirty. No question about it. But after that iconic moment, chat, the iconic battle. Between the first engagement between Spider-Man and Dr. Octopus, the real first. Now, I don't count the one with the fusion experiment, all that shit. Peter, he's got to go ahead and cover the ball with that is done in honor, chat. Done in honor of John Jameson, chat. JJ's son. He landed on the moon recently, chat. Just came back from a very successful mission. First man to play football on the moon, and we're getting closer to the big fucking fan conspiracy theory in regards to John Jameson. People speculate he was a character. They were building him up for the next movie. I'm like, where the fuck did you get evidence in this? And they always point to one scene in this film. It's near the end, but we'll get to it. But Peter, he's going to the ball, chat. Taking the pictures for good old Jonah Jameson. Peter, he comes up, he sees Harry. Harry's not doing great, chat. He's a mean fucking drunk. He is not a happy drunk, chat. Goddamn bartender's been getting him champagne after champagne, glass after champagne, and he's like, leave it! And he grabs the bottle, chat, knocks over all these glass, and the fucking bartender's like, Jesus, this guy's a fuck up. But Peter, he walks. By the way, the running gag of Peter is that he can't get an hors d'oeuvre. He's constantly trying to get an hors d'oeuvre and drink. It's always taken from him. It's like, God, Peter, get a fucking backbone. Stand up for yourself. But he's trying to do all this shit. Eventually he goes over to Harry and he says, hey, man, maybe you want to lay off the booze tonight, okay? He goes, why? Why should I? I'm fucking ruined. I'm financially ruined. The guy I placed all my bets on was a fucking hack, Peter. Maybe I deserve a drink. All I have left is Spider-Man. Peter's like, I don't want to do that here right now, Harry. He's like, of course. Always defending the fucking bug. Yeah, well, Harry's a fuck up. He doesn't know what he's doing. Well, fuck you, Peter. I'm going to go back to drinking. So Harry goes back to drinking. Meanwhile, Peter, he goes up to see Mary Jane, chat. She's walking around. She schmoozes the people. He goes up to her. He goes, hey, how you doing? And she's like, I don't really want to talk to you right now. He's like, listen, I'm sorry about the play. There was a disturbance. There's always a disturbance of you, just like what Asif Manvi says. There's always a goddamn disturbance. And she's like, I don't know what your deal is, Peter. Okay, like the way we talk to each other, how we're constantly this love thing. Are we in love and everything? It's just like listen. I just don't want to talk to you right now. And Peter goes, I've been reading poetry. And he just starts reciting poetry to her. She's like, what the fuck are you doing? So Doc Ock was wrong about that, chat. Poetry is not the key to a woman's heart. It's been confirmed. Patch, you're thinking of the 5 Biddies. Oh, I'm sorry. You already gave me that. Someone else. Tragedy Mass, thank you for the follow. Welcome to stream. Hope you enjoy my retelling of Spider-Man 2, my scene by scene breakdown. So, she's like, listen, I'm with John now. I'm not with you, Peter. Just leave me alone. Leave me alone, Mr. Parker. And he's like, fucking Jesus Christ. And he's like, tries to grab another drink, and he grabs it empty. He's like, fuck it. And then Harry comes back and he goes, you never told me who Spider-Man was. And Peter says, I don't want to do this right now, Harry. And Harry just fucking backhands Peter in front of everybody. In front of everyone, Chad. Backhands. And Peter's just like, what the fuck? And he goes, I thought you were my friend. Nah! And he just slaps him open hand, chat, going back. I'm sorry. Listen, if someone is fucking slapping the shit out of me, I'm just not gonna go. I'm not gonna stand there and take it. Grow a goddamn backbone, Peter Parker, okay? Defend yourself. I don't care how drunk he is. He's slapping back and forth. He's just like, he fucking murdered my dad. He killed my dad. You fucking know who he is. I know. He fucking slaps him again. He walks away. He gets like 3 or 4 slaps. Bullshit. He's taking him like a he's like a goddamn bitch. Exactly. And Peter's just like, oh. And then after that awkwardness, John Jameson goes, Well, after that, I just want to let everyone know, just break the ice. I just proposed to Mary Jane Watson. We're going to get married. Yay. Everyone's like, oh, yeah. Peter's just like, he's just, he got slapped. He got the shit kicked out of him by his best friend, Chet. By his best goddamn friend. He got his, the love of his life is getting married to another guy. And he's just like, how can this day get any worse? Hold my fucking beer, says life. Because then, Chad, we're at the next day. And he's with Aunt May, and they're visiting the grave of Uncle Ben, Chad. Uncle Ben, Aunt May's having a tough time. It was taken 2 years from us. Oh, Peter, it was my fault. It was my fault, Peter. It was I gave him too much of the Vienna sausages and the wheat cakes. His heart couldn't take it, Peter. And Peter's just like, oh, Jesus, God. And eventually they go back to her home chat where she's like, oh, damn me to hell, Peter. Oh, she's getting the tea ready. It's like, he could be here with us right now if it wasn't for me drinking this tea with the side of Vienna sausages, Peter. And Peter's just like, it was my fault. It was my fault. And Aunt May is like, what are you talking about, Peter? It wasn't your fault. He insisted to go to the library to pick you up in the car. And, you were doing your homework there. And Peter goes, I wasn't at the library to do my homework. What I wanted to do was I went to a place. I went to a wrestling match. I don't know if he mentions the wrestling. This is a great scene in the movie where he says, I went to a place to earn some money to buy a car. And there was a robbery. And the person who was supposed to pay me didn't pay me. He got robbed. And I saw the robber coming in my direction. And I could have stopped him, but I didn't. I let him go because I wanted revenge, because it made me feel good. I didn't need to stop him. And then this person found Uncle Ben and wanted to take his car, and Uncle Ben refused, and the guy shot him, and he died. And the only person who did anything right that night was him. I didn't take responsibility for it. And I've been holding on to this for years, trying to deal with it. And the only thing I can remember is how scared he was when I was holding his hand and how he could only say my name before he died. And he reaches for Aunt May's hand, chat, and he takes it and she pulls away. It's just like, oh, my heart. He doesn't mention the rest. He just wanted to go to a place to get some money. That's what it is. But she pulls away. In some cuts of the film, Aunt May slaps Peter after the car. Really? Oh my God. That's too much. He got slapped the shit out. He got slapped by Harry. I couldn't see that. No. The hand, that would have been way too much. I'm glad they just did the hand thing. But this scene between Tobey Maguire and Rosemary Harris, chat, goosebumps. Each of them does such a great job. The setup at the grave all the way to this moment where they're sitting in their time. There's no music playing. It's just a dialogue. Tobey Maguire in this moment, chat, is Peter Parker. Like, I make fun of him a lot, for his monotone delivery and his lack of chemistry with Kristen Dunst. But in this scene, he fucking brings it, and he nailed. Everyone slaps Toby. All the villains do. Fucking Harry does. Mary Jane does. Aunt May does. But in this scene, he brings a chat, and he nails it. And she pulls away. She pulls away from him and doesn't say anything to him and just goes upstairs, chat, and closes the door. And he's just sitting there just like, shit. It pulls the heartstrings, chat. It's great. And eventually, he just fucking goes back to his shitty apartment, and where he's just like, fucking hell. You know what? Fuck it. I'm done. Because then he fucking sees, he's doing the Spider-Man thing. He's doing his Spider-Man. That's why he's swinging back home to his Spider-Man, but he loses control again, and he fucking falls, and he goes, and he lands. He lands in the fucking gutter. He lands in garbage. He lands in garbage. His life is trash now. Oh, my God. And right next to him, Chad, has a copy of the Daily Bugle, and he grabs it. And, of course, Spider-Man Menace, the true villain behind Doc Ock. And he goes, fuck it. I'm done. Spider-Man no more. He takes his outfit, throws it in the trash, but then, Chad, I can't do that. Because then he has a dream sequence, a vision of Uncle Ben in heaven, I guess. And where Uncle Ben's talking to him. Basically doing the whole thing. Like they brought back, who plays Uncle Ben? Chad? Cliff Robertson. They brought back Cliff Robertson, who was a great Uncle Ben. He was great in the first movie, Chad. That's another scene where with him and Peter Parker really worked well. With Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker. That was a great scene. Their talk, Chad. Their talk, where he's made, hey, great power, great responsibility, kiddo. You got to keep doing this. You were given an amazing gift, But Peter's like, listen, I've been doing this for 2 goddamn years, okay? Do I get anything out of this? Do I get anything? Do I not get to live a normal life? Do I not get to be happy? I've never been happy since I got this power. I'm sorry, Uncle Ben, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to, Uncle Ben's, you disappoint me, Peter. And he's like, I'm Spider-Man no more. And he throws out the fucking Spider-Man suit, Chad. He's done. And then one day a garbage man finds it, Chad, and he brings it to the office of J. Jonah Jameson, who's currently planning the wedding of his son and Mary Jane Watson. And the garbage man brings this in. He's like, I found this in the trash. And Jade's is like, oh my God, this is great. Great Spider. He's given up. It's like, that could be anyone's Spider-Man suit. How do you know that is the Spider-Man suit? But he's like, he gave up. Ha ha ha. The power of the press. Yeah, and Robbie's like, I love Robbie's reaction because he's holding the mask. Because Robbie knows Peter Parker is Spider-Man. There's one scene in particular. I forget when it happens. I think it was after the Doc Ock stuff when Peter gets a job for the Ball, where Robbie says, I heard Spider-Man was there, and he looks right at Peter when he says it. And Peter's looks, oh shit, he knows. I love that scene. I wish they capitalized on that more. Robbie should have played a bigger role in this franchise. Sadly, that was one of the neglected things here. But JD's like, he's giving up, and Robbie just looks so sad. Betty's like, I'm confused. Do I get any lines in this scene? The garbage man's like, hey, do I get some money? He's like, I'll give you $50 for it. He's like, I can get more on eBay. He's like, I'll give you $100. Now I'm throwing a bar of soap. Because the guy's very dirty looking. Fucking J.K. Simmons kills it every scene he's in. He's like, power of the press. But then, chat. We cut to Tobey Maguire, who's just like, he's got a new lease on fucking life. He's doing much, much better, chat. And we got he's walking down the goddamn sidewalk, but he trips over himself. Whoa! But he picks himself up, chat. And we get the raindrops keep falling on my head. All that shit. Honestly, it's goofy. It's not nearly as bad as the jazz hands. Like, yeah, that just doesn't work. Like this one, I'm fine with this. But it's a new fucking lease on life. It's a montage sequence. That's what it is. Him fucking going to class, acing his fucking classes. Kirk Connor's like, Peter is like, yeah, square root of pi and all that bullshit. He's doing great, chat. He's bonding with people and things. He's getting fucking hot dogs. And he sees a fucking, building burning down. He goes, not my responsibility. I'm just munching away. Chat. And eventually, we cut to Mary Jane Watson's play, chat. Something about Ernst, chat. And who does fucking Mary Jane see in the crowd right in the fucking front row? Peter B. Parker, chat. Benjamin, the Beast for Benjamin. She's like, what? And even the fucking, the people in the back of the fucking stage are like, say your line. She's like, oh shit, yes. And then they meet afterwards. And she's like, oh my God, Peter, thank you for coming to play. He goes, yeah. And she even looks at him like, wow, you look like really good. He's like, hey, I'm getting plenty of sleep. Classes are going great. Aced my fucking paper. I'm doing really well. You were great in the play, by the way. She's like, oh, thank you so much. It's really good to see you this way. He's like, yeah, I was kind of thinking, you want to grab some chow mein? She goes like, Peter, listen, I'm sorry I yelled at you like that before, but I'm getting married to John, okay? I'm getting married to him. All right? So, unless you want to tell me something else, I gotta get going. I gotta get going in the cab here. And she just fucking takes off. He's like, fuck it, Jesus. So he's trying to think about it. I was like, well, that didn't work out. So I can't have everything in this life because some things are denied to him. And he's thinking about this, chap. And while she leaves, he's walking around, chat. He notices all of these goddamn newspapers, chat. Crime is up 70% in New York City. He's like, holy shit. So his absence is leaving a profound impact on the citizens of New York, chat. Crime, all these criminals, all these potential supervillains amassing power. You know, it's just like, this just isn't good. And eventually, he's just like, oh shit, maybe I made the wrong choice. And he notices Chad, all these fire trucks and police cars passing by him, and he follows them, Chad, and he sees this burning building. Very similar to the first one in the first movie, Chad, where the goblin is. You know, he's like, are you in or are you out? It's like, it's you who's out, Gobby. Of your mind. Wrong answer. And he throws the batarangs at him, the goblin rains. Thank you, Dark Side of the 5 Minutes. It's funny how Peter never tells his loved ones he's Spider-Man, yet they're always in danger all the time. All the time. Just tell them so at least they're aware of the danger. That's a thing that Peter, that's what I appreciate with the Tom Holland film, where it's just like, okay, everyone fucking knows. His friends know, his aunt knows. I like that, because honestly, they're in more danger if they don't know. At least they should be aware of the danger. What's up, danger, okay? Miles Morales should do the same goddamn thing in the Spider-Verse movies, but fuck, they did in the game, though. They did in the game. But, all this shit's going down, Peter sees this fucking burning building. He goes, shit. And you have this crying couple out there like, oh, a baby. And he's like, oh, gotta go in there. But he's not Spider-Man anymore. He's not Spider-Man anymore. But he's just regular old milquetoast Peter Parker. And they're like, kid, what you doing, kid? Very, very thick New York accent. I love hearing that thick. That's another thing that bothered me about Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, is that they did not have a New York accent. Tom Holland has a New York accent, which I love. I love that. I'm from Queens. My name's not Spider-Man. I love that. I love that they gave him the New York accent. Because when I always read Spider-Man as a kid, chat, Spider-Man always sounded like me. You know, because of my New York accent, my Northeastern accent. It's a very particular accent. And if you were born in New York, if you lived your entire life in New York, you would develop this accent. So I've always it always bothered me that in the live action version, in the cartoons as well, he doesn't have that voice. But Tom Holland was the first guy. And like deep dish pizzas. Deep dish pizza at the goddamn pizza shop in New York. It's not allowed. It's not goddamn allowed. Almost exploded right there. My eyes almost popped out of my head. It disgusts me to say deep dish pizza from New York City. That doesn't exist. He has a New York City. He has a New York. He absolutely does. Don't you lie. You lie, Steve. He absolutely does. Gabagool. It's like if he says gabagool, I'll be like, yeah. T-Mac, thank you for the 5 minutes. Tangent time, juice. If you are from New York, how you end up in Texas, sir? Well, I'll tell you, man. New York taxes they're a bitch. They're a bitch. They're very expensive, and there's just more job opportunities down here. New York is way too expensive to live. I hate the winters. Look, New York is always going to be a part of me, chat. It's always going to be a part. New York is where my heart resides, okay? It'll never leave there, okay? But it's fucking cold, taxes are high, and there's not as many job opportunities. So that's why I moved down. Now I can do this wherever I go, but I like where I am. I like the warm weather. That's how I am, chat. Good question, though. It's a good question, T-Back. I've never seen him slip of his British accent with your rascal. And at least in I don't know if other movies maybe, but in the Spider-Man films, he has never let his British accent slip once. Honestly, fucking Benedict Cumberbatch could use. I think Tom Holland needs to help Benedict Cumberbatch, chat, because his accent is just so bizarre. Like he's managed to master it, chat. He doesn't have that, Benedict Cumberbatch thing. It's like if it's between you or the kid or the stone, I'm taking the stone. And it's like, what is that? What kind of accent is that? He needs some help. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, he goes in the fucking burning building, chat. The effects here are kind of wonky. Like, some of them are practical fires and things, but, like, in the back, you can tell that's a green screen fire. And he goes up the goddamn stairs, chat, because he hears that, there's the kid crying. He goes in there. He fucking, does he grab the door handle? He's burned his hand. I don't remember. Darkseid, think with the 5 minutes. Tom Holland needs to help Benedict Arnold. Benedict Arnold? Like the traitor Benedict Arnold? Oh, all right. But he goes inside the goddamn apartment, chat. He hears the kid. He opens the fucking closet. She's like, she's scared. He's like, it's okay. I got you. He takes the kid, chat. And he's running around and shit and everything. He's like, we got to get going. And he fucking, the whole building's coming down at this point. And he's like, shit. He's like, I got to do a big old Spider-Man jump. But he's not Spider-Man anymore, chat. And he fucking jumps over. He fucking jumps over a goddamn precipice, Chad. And the kid is saved, but he's like, oh, he almost falls, Chad. Can't pick himself up because he's weak. He's milquetoast Tobey Maguire now, Chad. He's like, I can't do it. And the kid's like, don't worry, I got you. And she fucking throws out the blanket, Chad. And like, this is like a 3-year-old, Chad. And she lifts up Tobey Maguire. She's like, I got you. She fucking lifts him up. And she's like, all right, save me. Wham, wham. He grabs her. And they go downstairs, Chad. He gives her to her parents who don't even fucking thank him, by the way. This really bothered me, Chad. He saved their daughter, and they don't say thank you. Not even a bit of acknowledgement. I'm like, what the fuck? That always bothers me. I don't know why that happens. Darcy, I think it's I was making fun of Emma Cumberland's last name. Oh, gotcha. I got you, Darkslayer. Now I understand. But the fact they never thanked him, Chad, always stuck in my craw. That was bullshit. That was so bullshit, Chad. But he goes over the fire. He's getting oxygen, Chad, because he inhaled so much fucking smoke. It's very dangerous. Got to go on oxygen for that for a little while. Firefighters, at least the firefighters come over. He's like, hey, man, you did a really good thing. You're a fucking hero. And they say that a hero can save us. I'm not gonna stand here and wait. Fucking plays in the background. And so the firefighters is like, you did great, you did good, milquetoast Tobey Maguire. But then, Chat, another firefighter comes over and he says, some poor soul burned to death on the 4th floor, never made it out. And Toby hears this and he goes, holy fucking shit. I could have saved that guy. If I was Spider-Man, I could have saved that guy. And he goes back to his apartment, and he's just thinking about this, and he's just like, shit, what am I gonna do? And then fucking Olga, Ursula, whatever the hell her name was, she knocks on the goddamn door as he's deep in thought. Or she doesn't knock on the door, she just opens the fucking door, and he's like, what the fuck? And she goes, oh, I'm sorry, I gotta knock, I forgot, I gotta do that. And then she fucking closed the door, and then she knocks, and he goes, you can come in. And she's like, hey, Pete, I was just wondering if you want a slice of cake, chocolate cake. And he goes, sure. And would you like some milk? And he goes, I love milk, strong bones. He goes, great. And she goes and gets a fucking cake. These two should have ended up together, Chad. I'm sorry. They're both super fucking socially awkward. This is the romance that should have happened, Chad. Not with MJ, okay? At least fucking Helga, whatever the hell her name is. You know, she appreciates Peter. She clearly likes him. Chad. And I don't know why he doesn't like off. Yeah, the person who I should have been with stared at me the entire time, who was always there for me. She's always there with him, Chad. Always with cake and milk. It's like, that's your girl right there. That's your goddamn girl. But it's like, I gotta go for MJ. Stupid. And then she takes advantage of her cake making abilities in Spider-Man 3, where she's making them so many fucking cakes. She's like, oh, great cake. Like all the time. Like that's what she does in the 3rd film, Chat. She bakes cakes for goddamn goth Tobey Maguire. Emo Tobey Maguire, Chat. Spider-Man. Anyway, so he finishes the cake and milk, and they have very awkward, stilted dialogue. And she goes, oh, your aunt called. She's left a message for you. And so Peter, he heads over to Aunt May, Chat, who apparently is moving. She's moving, and she goes, oh, Peter, so good to see you. And he goes, are you moving? And she's like, oh, yes, the bank gave me another 3 weeks, but I just said, fuck it. Fuck it, Peter. I decided the hell with it. I'm going to move and get myself a smaller apartment and live off the life insurance, Peter. And I have the little neighbor boy, Billy. Billy, he's helping me pack. And he's like, Billy from next door? And she goes, yes, he's quite ambitious, Peter. I'm paying him $5 whole. And yeah, Billy's like, yeah, only fucking $5 to move all these goddamn heavy things. What was that, Billy? Nothing, Mrs. Parker. I'm doing great. I'm happy to have the money. He's like, goddamn right you are, Billy. And Peter is just like, well, I could have come over and helped. She's like, no. I can handle it. I can do things. I'm smart, not dumb, as people say. And he's like, okay, listen, about, my last vid, she goes, water under the bridge, over the dam, what have you, Peter. It's what's done is done. We love Uncle Ben. I love your uncle. And I love you, Peter. I love you. And she fucking hugs him, Chat, and it's great. And so she, despite whatever, it's like, listen, that's what happened. You clearly learned within. She's basically telling him, like, that was a very brave thing that you did to tell me about what actually happened. Thank you for doing that. And now it's better. It's better that way. And she says, Uncle Ben would be so proud of you for the man that you're becoming. And clearly, chat, she gives indication here that she knows Peter Parker's Spider-Man based on some things. And they're coming up in a bit. And Peter's like, he's looking at all the thing. And he's like, Aunt May, where are my comic books? She's like, oh, I gave those away. And it's like, that's how she got back at Peter, by getting rid of all his comic books and all of his toys. She's like, yeah, I'm going to get back at you uncle murdering fuck. That's what she did. You husband murdering bastard. He's like, oh, but he can't say anything. He's like, well, I did kill my uncle, so I guess I'll sacrifice my comic book collection for that, for a good relationship. Fern, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Why'd you sound like a British officer? That's how Aunt May sounds, dude. That's how she sounds in the movie, you know? And so then fucking Billy walks down and he goes, oh my God, Billy, you're getting tall and shit. He's like, oh, he has such aspirations, Peter. So many things he wants to do. And, oh, he looks up to only a few people, Peter. Looks up to that Spider-Man, and that's when Billy, he walks over and he says, Peter, your aunt tells me that you're the guy who takes pictures of Spider-Man in the papers. And he goes, I am. He goes, what happened to him? Where is he? And Peter's just like, I think he quit being Spider-Man. And he goes, why? And he goes, he wanted to try other things. And he goes, when's he coming back? And Peter's just like, shit, I don't know. And he goes, well, I hope he comes back soon. And he goes back in the house to unload, to get some more, some more things in boxes, bring them outside. And Aunt May is like, oh, Billy, he's not able to look up to a lot of people. And he always looked up to Spider-Man. And I've had a change of heart after he saved my fucking life, which I love it. Now she changed her mind, even despite all the people that Spider-Man has saved. Now that her life was saved, she's like, oh, I was wrong. Fair enough. It's like bullshit. No, not my Amazing Fantasy number 15 issue. Was in that would have been too much if that was referenced. Oh my God, Henry. It's Henry. It was Henry. I call him Billy. Chat. If there's a character in a movie or like a little boy character whose name I don't remember, I always call him Billy. Billy. I just my go-to, chat. So Henry, he looks up to that Spider-Man, and we're inspired by. She goes in this whole speech about heroes, how we need heroes, and how there's a little bit of hero, and there's a little bit of hero in all of us, and they say that a hero can save us, can save you, Peter. You just gotta fucking find a way. And she's a little bit of hero and save us, make us strong, make us noble. And we can rest, we can die knowing that we did the right thing. And if we looked up to these heroes, we can also become heroes. And she's looking him dead in his eye, and she's like, I know you're Spider-Man, but I'm not saying you are. It's the same way that Robbie looks at Peter. I'm like, I kind of like that subtlety, but I wish you would just come out, I know you're Spider-Man. It would be very cathartic if they had done that. And this gives him the inspiration after this. By the way, it's a great scene between him and Rosemary Harris again. It's very good. She knew. She obviously knew. And this gives him the inspiration, chat. We get kind of like a retake on his first web swinging in the first movie, the same music and everything. That tally-ho and all that shit. And, he's fucking gonna jump and web swing. He fucking unleashes the web. He's like, I'm back! And he's like, yeah, he's doing everything. But he's like, whoa! But he can't do it again. He's like, uh-oh. And he slams into the side of a building, chat. Boom! And he fucking falls on all these cars, and he's like, I'm back. Oh, my back. Which is actually, that was referencing the fact that after the first film, chat, Tobey Maguire suffered from severe back pain. And he had it throughout the entire trilogy as well. And there was rumors like in 2000, I guess it was 2003, right before they were about to start production. Thank you, Dr. for the 5 minutes, having his stuff sold by Aunt May rekindling his heroic spirit. That's right, it was. Giving the inspiration. Like, I'm going to get those fucking comics back. Where Tobey Maguire's might not have been, they go back and forth of it. Like, him being in Spider-Man 2 wasn't assured. And the studio, Sony, was going to maybe go with Jake Gyllenhaal, who was one of the guys they were looking at to play Spider-Man in the original film, in the Sam Raimi trilogy chat before they went with Tobey Maguire. But that they go back and forth. That could have been just a way to threaten Tobey Maguire, say like, we'll recast you, man. We're gonna recast a lookalike, and who's also someone who's a better actor than you. And that's what made him come back to the negotiating table, Chad, and agreed for those next 2 films. So Jake Gyllenhaal, he tells it where it's like, I was kind of used as a pawn in this, but he eventually, funny enough, ended up playing a Spider-Man villain as Mysterio, so 15 years later. So it's like, oh, that's kind of fucking cool. How that worked out for Jake Gyllenhaal. One of the best Spider-Man villains, cinematic adaptations of the character. I love the Vulture. I love Mike Keaton's the Vulture, and Jake Gyllenhaal, he was fantastic as Quentin Beck as Mysterio. Chad, so much fun, that movie. I love that take. I love what they do with him and everything. His whole plot, what his scheme was, just using tragedy to make himself look heroic. That was so good. So it's funny how it worked out. But yeah, I guess he was just used as a threat to Tobey Maguire. And eventually he's like, well, things are just kind of not working out. You know, he's a little rusty. He's not exactly back. He just has back pain. Eventually, we cut back to Doc Ock. He's built his machine, but he's like, I need that special, that secret ingredient. I need that tritium. He needs that tritium, chat. And there's only one person who has it. And then we cut back to fucking Harry Osborn, chat, who has newspaper clippings of Spider-Man and goes, oh, all I have is Spider-Man. I gotta defeat him, Bernard. I gotta defeat him. And Bernard, chat, who is the biggest villain in all of these movies, chat. The main servant to both Norman Osborn and Harry Osborn, Bernard. Bernard is the biggest asshole imaginable, where he even says to Harry, it's like, I'm leaving for the night, Harry. Your father was obsessed, but only when it came to his work. It's like, good night, Bernard. Bernard knows that Harry Osborn's dad, Norman, was the Green Goblin. And he doesn't reveal that information until way late into Spider-Man 3. Fucking bullshit. Terrible, terrible decision. And he knows that Harry blames Spider-Man for it. Like, he sees the evidence. He sees all the fucking things out right there. Ah, it's terrible. Awful. Gotta say that for Spider-Man 3. It's not part of this movie yet. We gotta save it for Spider-Man 3, chat. I'm going off on the diatribe. I can't do it. Thank you, Stephen Hunter. The Bill Paxton's Papa, rest easy to both of them. Yes, that's Bill Paxton's father. Really? I didn't know that. Oh my god. It was a great Spider-Man villain. And so, Harry's just like, well, I'm just gonna go ahead and drink myself to death. And he's drinking a good old whiskey, chat. Neat, by the way. No fucking ice in there. He's drinking that shit neat. But he hears this boom, 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 boom. He's like, the fuck is that sound? He goes outside. He's like, the building's shaking, Chad. And he goes, honey, looks over the edge and it's identical and attacks his face. Shit, no, but it scares him. And he drops the drink. But I love this scene because the fucking tentacle grabs the drink and then Doc Ock reveals himself like, hello, Harry. And he takes a sip of the drink. I love that. Apparently, he had to do it a couple times because they got over his face multiple times with the puppetry. It's really good. It's in the bonus features, deleted scenes, the blooper reel. It's pretty goddamn funny. But he takes a sip. He's like, I need that precious tritium. He's just like, I can't give it to you, Otto. You're a hack. And that sets fucking Otto Octavius off. He grabs Harry by his fucking Italian shoes, chat. That rich Corinthian leather. And he's dangling Harry off of the building, off the precipice. He's like, wait. We can make a deal. We can come to a deal. And I was like, we're listening. And he puts him back on the ground. And he goes, listen, I'll give you the tritium if you get me Spider-Man. And Ock's like, well, where do I find him? He's like, go to Peter Parker. He takes pictures of him for the Bugle. And he's like, Parker? He's like, yeah. And he's like, all right, I'll get Spider-Man for you. But you have the tritium here when I bring him to you. And he fucking... a great shot of me looking down of him going away. And at the last moment, shit, he's out of earshot at this point. Harry goes, but don't hurt Peter. It's like, he's not going to hear you. Harry's a bad friend. Harry's a bad friend. Thank you for the 5 days calling a man with metallic arms a hack is really smart. He's not smart. He's been drinking heavily. He's fueled by rage, chat. Not smart in hindsight. So... we then cut to Mary Jane Watson, chat. She is busy planning her wedding to space hero, chat. Hero astronaut John Jameson, chat. He has an assured career. He's being paid extremely well. He's probably going to get into politics. He's great. I'm going to tell you what, John Jameson's a good guy. He's a really good person, chat. Honestly, of all the people who suffer in this movie, he unnecessarily suffers, chat. I could see, motivation to become a villain. For what people speculated he was supposed to be, or what people are like, oh, that's what they should have done. But he's just a good person, and he clearly loves Mary Jane. And the shit she pulls We'll get to it. But they're playing their wedding, and we get like little references to some of Mary Jane's family members, Aunt Ida, who's in the comics. And who I think maybe we see in the wedding scene. He's like, well, because John Jameson doesn't know, what her deal is with Peter. But he says, aren't you going to invite your photographer friend, Peter Parker? And she goes, oh, he's not really a friend. And he goes, what is he? And she goes, oh, he's more of a jerk. And he goes, well, maybe you two should go ahead and talk it out. I think that'll probably be best. And she goes, oh, John, you're just always thinking of the best thing possible, always trying to work out a bad situation. He's like, hey, I'm just here to help. And, I hate for you to, be in a bad relationship or anything like that, even though she's treating him like shit chat. And she goes, you know what? Can we try something? And he goes, sure. Yeah, we can try something like kinky sex shit. She goes, yeah. He's like, yeah. And she's like, can you just lay back? He's like, all right, I'll lay back. Are you should I take my pants off? You don't need to take your pants off. He's like, okay. And he leans back, chat. And she tries to recreate the upside down kiss. And he's like, this is cool. He's into it though. John Jameson, he's like, smooch and all that shit. But she stops smooching, chat. Thank you, Steve, for the 20 biddies. Wow, I'm on the moon. You up there with me? Goddamn right. Dark say thank you for the 5 biddies. Gotta commend John for trying to mend MGP. He tries to mend their relationship, chat, and it's inevitably his undoing. Not undoing, but just the end of his engagement, which is he didn't know. Really terrible. At this, man, I'll get into it in a bit. I gotta save it because that's gonna be a diatribe in itself. But she backs away after the kiss, and John's like, that was cool, but it's not the same for MJ. It's just not the same. But she's going to take John Jameson's advice and meet Peter for coffee the next day. He's like, why don't you just talk to him? And that's what she do. That's what she does, Chet. She meets Peter at a coffee shop, and they're having a back and forth. And, Peter says, I've been dealing with a lot of things. And Mary J, she's just like, all right, let's be fucking blunt. Stop fucking tiptoeing around. I love you, Peter. I love you. And he's like, oh, God. And she's like, do you love me? And he's like, ooh, what's the right? But at this point, he's like, I'm already going to be Spider-Man again. So he's like, no, because there's one in danger. That's going to fucking do. And she's like, I just don't get you. And he fucking goes to hold her hand. And they're holding hands. They have a moment. And they're about to, she's like, let's just do one more thing. Let me do one more thing. And she's going, and she's about to kiss him. He's like, oh, God. But then the spider sense goes off. He's like, what? And a fucking car comes through the goddamn coffee shop. I mean, this is a scene in the trailer, chat. It was beautiful. He was beautiful when we saw this where he grabs her, propels himself forward, and manages to avoid the car. It's a beautiful goddamn shot. And the car just fucking crushes all those innocent people behind. Kills so many people in the coffee shop, chat. They're all dead. I mean, ugh. And then they hear it, chat. I love that how they before you saw him, you heard him coming, chat. The boom, boom, and then we get the full shot that Mary Jane is not wearing a bra, chat, because her nipples are boom, they are front and goddamn center, chat, and that's how they're gonna be for the rest of the goddamn movie. Jesus Christ! Again, Samuel said no brassieres in my movies. So, and every time you hear the thum that goes boo, boo, like I was like, all right, I get what you're doing here. T-Mac, thank you for the 13 biddies. It's hypocritical of MJ to get mad at Peter Parker for giving the Gwen Stacy the upside down kiss of Spider-Man 3 when she did the same thing to Jameson. Yeah, exactly. So true. Thank you, Darkseid, for the 5 minutes. It's a brawless universe, Chad. Just does not exist. Chad. Nipplegate. It's Nipplegate, exactly. But then he fucking reveals himself, Chad. It's fucking Otto Octavius. Peter Parker and the girlfriend. He goes, nah, and he fucking grabs MJ. He grabs Peter and fucking brings him to him, and he goes, where's Spider-Man? And he goes, I don't fucking know where he is. And he's like, oh, you're gonna fucking get it for me because I'm gonna take your goddamn girlfriend. He fucking gets MJ, grabs her, and he's like, great, this is a good line. He gets one really good line here, chat. One good bad guy, not the Butterfingers, not the, the power of the sun in the palm of my hand, but this one. Bring Spider-Man to me or I will peel the flesh off her bones. It's like, fuck. And his pincers go, ch-ch-ch-ch. That's a good line. That's a good, because that was in the trailer. People were like, whoa, that's badass. So that was a really scary line. And Peter, and he fucking, by the way, he fucking throws Peter into a brick wall. He goes, boom. And all this fucking bricks and wood. It's like, you could have killed him. He probably would have been dead. His pincers, well, his upper tentacles, they have like this metallic shell over them, and they go, So it's pretty cool. And he, for all he knew, he probably killed Peter, but then we see him walking out. It's where we get like the CGI Ock, which is like, yeah, it doesn't really look that good. But you know, he goes away, and Peter goes, Brah! He's doing a Super Saiyan chat, and he walks out there, and you can like his feet got that Arthur, I'm gonna hit DW fist. You can chat when you get the Arthur, I'm gonna punch DW in her goddamn gob because she broke my airplane because it's not supposed to fly. You know you have the power back, and he has that power chat, and you know. He's like, I gotta go get my outfit back. Meanwhile, we go to the office of the Daily Bugle, where Jameson, you know, is just like, shit, I fucked up. Spider-Man is a hero. Crime is up. My fucking, my son's fiance has been kidnapped by Dr. Otto Octavius, Doc Ock himself. This is a terrible situation. You know, Robbie Robertson, Ted Raimi, and Betty Brown are saying only Spider-Man could save her. Spider-Man could do it. And Jameson, he's like, you're right. I was wrong about Spider-Man. He's a hero. He's everything they need to be. I was just too blind to see it. He's what New York needs. He's a goddamn hero. And they say that a hero can save us. I'm not gonna stand here and wait. And what comes on, Chef? Fucking Nickelback. And Spider-Man, he grabs his outfit, and JJ hears Nickelback in the background and goes, wait a minute. And the outfit's gone, Chef. The outfit's gone. It's like, Spider-Man's a menace. Spider-Man, I hate him. Oh, get him back. And then we cut Chad, and the whole big front page of Spider-Man's back, and he goes to the fucking newspaper. And he's a thief. That's right. He's a thief. He's a menace. I want Spider-Man. And that's when he flies to the paper. And we see Spider-Man swinging towards Doc Ock. And we cut to Doc Ock where he's in the reflection of his sunglasses. And they go up on this clock tower. And Spider-Man lands on the top of the clock tower. And he goes, where is she? And Ock's like, oh, don't worry. She's nearby. Come on, let's talk. And they just fucking get to wrestling, Chad. This is a really cool action scene. This is the big action scene in the movie, where, you know, first they're fighting on this clock tower and things, and Ock manages to fucking throw Spider-Man down, and Ock rips the top of this, the clock hands, and throws and just propels him at Spider-Man like spears. And Spider-Man, he knocks one of them out of the way, but he webs the other one, goes, and he flings it back at Doc Ock, and nearly fucking impales Doc Ock. He's like, whoa, shit, and almost there, he's like, fuck it. And he goes right at Spider-Man. They're fighting, and they're fighting on top of the clock tower. But then, you know, they lose their balance and they fall off. And then they're just throwing punches back and forth. Beautiful shot of them falling to earth, Chet, just tumbling in the sky, just fists and mechanical hentai tentacles going at it. It's so goddamn good. I love the sounds of the clock hands. But yeah, it's really, no, sound design is impeccable in this scene. It's really, really good. Batches. Isn't it established Spider-Man canon that he states he pulls? Yes, he does. He pulls his punches because he knows it. Like, yeah, exactly. I mean, if he punched Doc Ock with his full strength, Doc Ock's head would fucking explode. That's actually referenced in it's a bad. The Superior Spider-Man comics, when Doc Ock takes over Peter Parker's body, he punches Scorpion, and Scorpion's fucking jaw flies off. And he's like, oh shit, and that's where he realizes, oh my god, he's taken it easy on us for years. Because he just fucking punched Mac Gargan's jaw off of his face. It's like, whoa. So he always does that. Spider-Man is very strong. He's like one of the strongest, like, Earth-based Marvel heroes. And so they're tumbling, Chad, and they fall on the monorail. They fall on the train, and then we have all this choreography is great. It's so much better than Spider-Man 1's fighting choreography, where they're just going on the train like Doc Ock. It's a mixture of CGI and practical effects. Or sometimes they have Alfred Molina and Tom McGuire in the scene. Sometimes it's the CGI version, but they managed to blend it pretty well, where they're fighting on the side of the train. People are like looking at them on the inside. At one point, Doc Ock like grabs Spider-Man, is like, and he throws him inside the train. Spider-Man's jumping around the train. He goes back out, but then he sees that Doc Ock went underneath the train. He's like, oh shit! And Doc Ock's on the other side and goes right through all these people's bodies and shit. So blood and meat explosions. But then Peter, like, he's about to go up, and he's like, oh shit! Because another train's coming. He goes, whoo! And he goes like right here, and the train's like an inch away from slicing his face off, Chad. But he gets on back of the train, and at this point, Doc like, okay, I'm fucking done with this. Where he surprises Peter, grabs and just fucking throws him off. And Peter's like, shit. Like he goes through like this metal grating at one point. And he goes through this metal grating, hits Doc Ock. That's what happens. And then Doc Ock throws him off the train. But then Spider-Man, he fucking manages to web himself to the train to a side of a building and propels himself forward. She had glory shots, by the way. CGI's on point here. And he's, getting back to the train. Doc Ock's like, fuck. And so at this point, he just reaches inside the train, just grabs some people, and just starts chucking people out of the train just to delay Spider-Man shit. It's like, whoa, that's a really... this guy was, again... an hour and a half ago was saying, love, you just got to be honest with yourself, Peter. Got to talk to the girl you love. Just read her poetry. Is now fucking throwing people out of a train for Spider-Man to catch. Because if he doesn't catch him, Chad, they're going to hit the concrete and die. So Spider-Man's catching all these, webbing up all these people, making sure they're saved. Eventually, Doc Ock's like, all right, fuck it. Thank you, T-Mac, for the, how many bits was that? That's 7 biddies, good sir? For the 7 bits, thank you. And so he's going to the front of the train, Chad, and he's just like, all right, go to the conductor. He forces one of his tentacles in there, fucking brains the conductor, Chad, gets the controls, rips them apart, and sends the car just flying down the rail. And when Spider-Man finally catches up to him, Doc Ock throws the controls at him, and he goes, you have a train to catch. And he's like, okay, that was a good pun. And he jumps off, and Spider-Man's like, oh, shit. Thank you, Bat Shield. Oh, so you need Dark Shield for the 5 biddies. And thank you, Bat Shield, for the 5 biddies. Science requires sacrifice. Yeah, exactly. And so then he's like, okay, how the fuck am I going to stop this thing? He's looking at the conductor. The conductor's like, the controls are gone. The controls are gone. And they go, psh, and they burst because some of the electricity residue and everything, or like all the wires are touching each other, and they burn inside of his mask. And then he's like, it's burning. He takes the mask off, chat. And I guess he throws it, and somehow someone catches it. And he sees, like, all the way down, Joe, with his spider sense, the train's going to go off the fucking track. It's going to go into the water. He's like, oh, these people are going to die. And so he jumps in front of the train, and people are like, holy shit, it's Spider-Man. And we get some cameos here, chat. Phil Lamar, who, has had a great career as a comedian, actor, chat. Probably best known, and for his live action roles, probably best known for Mad TV. Also, chat, he played, what was the character's name in Pulp Fiction? Help me out here. Oh, shit. Goddamn. I shot him in the face. What was the line? Oh, chat. Start with an M. Melvin? Oh, I shot Melvin. Marvin. That's it, Chris Harris. Marvin. Oh, I shot Marvin in the face. He's that guy. But yeah, his voice acting career, someone just mentioned it, plays Green Lantern from Justice League, plays Virgil Hawkins, Static Shock in Static Shock, chat, plays Hermes in Futurama, plays Samurai Jack in Samurai Jack, chat. The guy is a prolific voice actor. One of the best out there. So, and he always shows up randomly, like weird little cameos, like for this one. I don't know why. I'm not sure. Maybe he knew Sam. I'm not sure. I don't know, but he's there. Also, the stand-up comedian Joey Diaz is there, representing New York. I guess he's from New York, yeah, which I appreciate. And so at this point, they're like, holy shit, Spider-Man. And Peter's just like, okay, I'm gonna do like a fucking Hanna-Barbera cartoon. And he puts his foot on the track shit. He's like, trying to stop the train, but his foot's just going right through the fucking tracks, chat. He goes, this is not stopping the train. He jumps up, and the conductor's like, well, that didn't work. And he says, you have any more bright ideas? And Peter's like, turns to him like, listen, dude, I'm trying to save you fucks, okay? Give me a break. I'd have a few. And he's like, all right. And he puts himself in front of the train again, and he webs either side, chat. He's like, I'll stop it this way. But then it's not strong enough because the webbing just pulls the sides of the buildings off, chat. People are like, those are their apartments. Two people are inside there. He's like, shit, okay. Almost falls forward, chat. Almost falls forward. Has to catch himself, and he comes back up. And he's like, okay, that kind of worked, but I got to do more. And he goes... all the thwips you can imagine, Chad. He's on this wall. And then at this point, we get the ultimate Tom Maguire, I'm trying to shit face, where he goes, he's trying to stop this goddamn train. Do that again. If I do that again, I think I'm going to have an aneurysm. Total orgasm face. Thank you, College, for the 30 biddies. I like how they reference this in Marvel. Yeah, they did. They did, absolutely did. I'll do him, but Chad, as he's stopping it, he's doing the best he can. He's eventually screaming, Shaq. Eventually, he hits the blocker, like right where it's supposed to stop the train, goes fucking right through it. But he mentioned, and he came so hard, Chad. He had the worst shit imaginable, and he exhausted himself. Danger Mike, thank you for the Prime subscription. Oh my God, I'm gonna give myself a heart attack. Thank you for the 8 months, man. Nearly 1 month away from front pooping on Twitch. I think that's what fucking Tom McGuire was doing. He was front pooping on Twitch, baby chat. Do the shimmy again, too. It's also the cry face, the same face. Oh, that's a hernia. Oh, thank you, Chris, for the 10 days. By the way, New York suddenly turned into Chicago during this scene. Oh, did it? Did they film part of this in Chicago? That's funny. Oh, my God. Give me a second, chat. Give me a second. That's hard to do. I can see why you fainted. But chat, thank you for the support. So he had the worst shit imaginable. And he's just fucking, and he's about to fall in the water, chat. But the people of New York, chat, they grab him, a hold of him in chat, they prevent him from falling, and then we get the Jesus messianic moment, chat, where he's like on the cross and things, and they're carrying him, and they have the Danny Elfman score swelling in the background. Dage Monk, thank you for the 10 minutes. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for the support. They're carrying him backwards, chat, where his mask off, he was gonna the bum 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 as they're carrying him. And they lay him down, and people are going, oh my God, it's just a kid. He's no older than my son. And eventually he comes to, and he goes, oh, fucking Jesus. And he goes, oh, my mask. And people are like, this guy gets down to his level, and he says, don't worry about it. And it's actually, this scene actually got me when I watched it again. I was like, oh God, this is such a powerful Spider-Man moment right here, where the people of New York, like, it doesn't matter. We're not going to say anybody. We're not going to tell anybody. And then these two kids come up, chat. They have these two kids come up. It's like, we found this. And they hand his mask to him. And he's like, don't worry. We won't tell anybody. And it's just like, oh. When he looks around at all the people, and that's the love he always needed, was in this little microcosm of a moment. It's just... He nailed it. Sam Raimi nailed it. There's better. This might be better than Spider-Man 1. Then I think about it. It has these very Spider-Man moments, which I love so much. Where he puts it's almost like he's on the verge of tears when he's looking at all these people, how they're looking at him. Witness, God, Jesus, God, witness me, Vanispheres. Thank you so much for the raid, my friend. Chat, please do check out Vanisphere streams. I would appreciate that. He's a quality streamer. He's very fun. Very easy to talk to. Welcome. Currently in the middle of my Spider-Man 2 review. We are past the 3-hour mark. We are past the 3-hour mark. I didn't start this review until around 40 minutes in, but I'll give it to you guys. This is my longest review, I think, of all time. We're not even done with the film. Welcome, Vanny. Hope and doing very, very well. What are you doing, Bio? Take a brief break, chat. I need a brief break in between my retelling, my scene by scene breakdown. Was playing Final Fantasy IV on some great game. Probably my third favorite Final Fantasy game, man. Very good choice. Well, chat. Vanny plays a lot of RPGs, especially those JRPGs. Final Fantasy, in particular, please give him a follow. Please give him a subscription if you can. Be very kind. Oh my God, Vanny, what's number one? In terms of Spider-Man, Final Fantasy VI. 6 is my favorite. Love Final Fantasy VI. So goddamn good. But chat, back to the scene. He puts the mask back on. The people are helping him stand up, chat. But all is not right in New York City, chat, because they hear the boom, boom, boom. And Doc Ock is back, chat. And he has ripped open the fucking train car like a goddamn can of sardines. And he's like, let me at him. Give me Spider-Man. Thank you, Vanny, for giving a gifted sub to Darkslayer. Very, very kind, Vanny. Thank you so much. Darkslayer, you are now the proud owner of 5 new months along with ad-free viewing. Congratulations. But he opens up this thing and it's like, Spider-Man, give it to me. And then we get it, chat. We get it. We fucking Joey Diaz, chat. Joey Diaz, stand-up comedian Joey Diaz is very, very funny. He fucking stands in Doc Ock's way. If you want to get to him, you gotta go through me. And they got all the people in the car, and me, and me, and me. And this one guy goes, oh, Jesus, and me. And it's like, chat, it's like the whole fucking saying in Spider-Man 1. If you mess with one of us, you mess with all of us. And Doc Ock promptly goes, Okay, and he fucking eviscerates these people. He thrusts his hentai mechanical tentacles through Joey Diaz and everyone. The babies, shit, the babies. They're all getting thrusted and just thrown to the goddamn side. They're hitting the side of the fucking train car, chat, and Spider-Man's just like, oh shit, a lot of people just died for me today. And Spider-Man's like, it's okay, I got it, guys. I'm gonna stop him. And then Doc Ock just goes, Jesus, and just fucking punches him with one of his mechanical tentacles, chat, boom, right in the face, and he's knocked out cold again. He was too weak, chat. It was too weak. It was a fucking massacre. He killed all those people, chat. All those people, and including the kids. It says, we won't tell nobody. Yeah, you're not gonna tell nobody because you're gonna be fucking dead. Peter's like, I'm gonna have to kill all these people. But it's okay, it worked out in hindsight, chat. Doc Ock, he killed them for Peter. And so, then we cut, chat. He's blacked out. He's severely concussed. And he is brought to Harry Osborn, chat. And he's also wrapped Spider-Man in barbed wire, by the way. I don't know when you fucking get barbed. He wrapped him in barbed. I don't know where he got it, but he wrapped him in barbed wire. And Harry's just put him on the couch. And he put Spider-Man on the couch. And Doc Ock's, where's the tritium? He got the tentacle. He's like, it's in there. And he goes to the safe and he's opening up and he opens it up and he's like, I'm gonna grab it. And then Doc Ock just goes, bah! He fucking bashes Harry out of the way and he grabs it. He gives a shit less about Spider-Man. He takes off. But then Harry, he's like, yes, this is the opportunity I've always wanted. And he grabs like this ceremonial dagger. He's about to kill him. He's like, I'll finally have my vengeance for what you did to me and my father. But first, I want to look into the eyes of my dad's murderer. And he takes the mask and he rips it off. And he sees Peter's face, who Peter immediately wakes up and goes, oh shit. And he's like, oh, Peter, my friend. Oh. He looks, oh, he drops the dagger and shit. Peter's like, ah! He breaks out of the barbed wire, and he says, Harry, I know it's a lot for you to take in right now. He goes, oh my God, Peter, there are bigger things happening here than me and you, which is that big line from the trailer, which sent chills down my goddamn spine, which I'm like, oh, Harry knows who he is now. I think that's what it was going to be. So they kind of gave it away in the trailer. Thank you, Dark Side of the 5 Minutes. My name is Harry Osborn. You killed my father. Prepared a very much an Inigo Montoya moment. But he's like, listen, he has MJ, okay? There are bigger things happening here than me and you. And Harry's just looking at him and is like, Peter, you killed my father. At that point, chat, and this is the reason why this film maybe isn't as good as Spider-Man, because the logic here really bugs me. Where in that moment, I would have said, Harry, your dad's the Green Goblin, okay? That's what he was. I would have revealed all that shit. Your dad's Green Goblin. He tried to kill me. He tried to kill your girlfriend at the time, Mary Jane. Okay, yes, I was lusting after her, sure, but he tried to kill her. Okay, he killed the board. He killed the board and everything. I mean, out am I? Remember that when he said, "Out am I?" I remember that. You know, so. There's big, that was a big thing, but he never mentions it to Harry, chat. Never once. He just like, where's Doc Ock? And Harry, I guess, tells him. And then we're back at Doc Ock's wharf. We're back at the Doc Ock wharf where MJ, chat, she's chained up. Nipples are erect. There's no bra in Sam Raimi world. And she's like, fucking let me go. Hey, let me. And she fucking whistles. Hey, I'm talking to you. Kristen Dunst got a little New Yorker in her chat when she's like, I'm talking to you. Hey, I like that. I wanted more of that Mary Jane in these movies. Just that kind of one that's a little street smart. You know, just like, hey, don't fuck with me. Don't fuck around with me. Look at me when I'm talking to you. Like, I like that when she kind of throws it back at someone. Because some of the actors in here, some of the people's performances are so milquetoast and kind of like, oh, you know, very, very submissive. I would have liked a little more forceful. It's like, no, fuck you. No, fuck you. Like a little more of that. Very New Yorker. Thank you again. Don't show for the 5 biddies. So, this is all going on. She's like, well, fucking Spider-Man's gonna come over here and kick your fat ass. And he's like, Spider-Man's already dead. She's like, you're lying. He's like, oh, yeah, you think I'm lying? All right, fine. Well, believe what you want to believe. He's fucking dead. And he continues to work on, he's got the fusion reactor. It's all up and that running. The power of the sun, the palm of my hand, all that bullshit. But then, fucking Spider-Man's there. But fucking his tentacles can see because, you know, fucking Spider-Man doesn't know that the tentacles have like little cameras. They have eyeballs in them. And Doc Ock spots him and goes, motherfucker. He knows he's here. He's like, But then Spider-Man makes his way down. The Mary Jane's like, hey, how you doing? She's like, oh, shit, Spider-Man. He's like, don't worry. I'm going to get you out of here. You just run. And then the fucking hentai tentacle just comes out of nowhere. She just fucking whacks him. Just whacks him. Throws him across the fucking wharf. And Doc's like, I knew Harry wouldn't have the spine to finish you off. And Peter's like, Doc, you got to shut down the machine. You're going to take out all of New York. He's like, I didn't miscalculate, all right? I'm not shutting anything down. And then they just start going at it and shit, chat. There's the fisticuffs, But Peter, he's kind of had enough of Doc Ock shit. Because Doc Ock, he throws him kind of up in the air. And Spider-Man's like, nah, fuck this. I ain't doing this again. And he just propels himself back to Ock, punches him through the dock itself, and just starts wailing on him in the water, just over and over and over again until Alvin Williams was like, what the fuck, and just blood coming out, his teeth are gone. It's like, Jesus. But the thing is, chat, the fusion reactor is unstable because he did miscalculate, okay? He was wrong again. And it's sucking up all the metal. And all those heavy metal chains are around MJ, chat. And then she's getting sucked up, too, because they're attached to her. And she's like, ah! Because that's all Mary Jane does, chat, in these movies. In these movies, she's either a really bad girlfriend or friend, or she screams a lot. And, oh, no, she's a third thing. She shows off the nips. And so the one chain goes off the wooden beam, and she's being sucked into the machine. But thankfully, Spider-Man, he's like, oh, shit, I got to save her. He jumps up there, chat, and grabs her and puts her down. And Doc Ock's like, fuck this. He batches Spider-Man out of the way, grabs a hold of him and everything. And it's like, I have had enough of this. You've spun your last web, Spider-Man. And then it's like, whoa, they're going to finally give Mary Jane Watson a moment, check, because she gets like a big old fucking piece of rebarb, like you know, a sharp end and everything, and she's going to just stab the shit out of Doc Ock. It's like, here we go. You're finally giving her something to do. And as she's walking up, chat, just like, ah, and he fucking whacks her. Whacks her out of the way. No, just backhands her, chat. Now he doesn't even look at her. And he takes the pipe and goes, all right, it's fucking it for you, Spider-Man. And Peter goes, gulp. He fucking articulates and makes a very noticeable gulp sound. And you know, fucking Ock, he thrusts shit. He thrusts the most thrustful thrust you can imagine. But Peter uses webbing to pick up one of the big fucking wires to power up the fusion reactor. Boom! And fucking Ock thrusts right through that. He goes, and he electrocutes himself. Genuinely, he explodes. Doesn't like explode, but it shoots him backward, chat. Shoots him backward back into the water. And at this point, Spider-Man, he grabs the wire, chat, you know, all the extension cords, and just rips them out. But oh no, the fucking fusion reactor, what's the word for it? Now it's kind of just existing as it is, chat. It's just existing as it is at this point. It's stabilized, and so even with the power source gone, it's going to remain stable, and there's no way to shut it off. It's like, what the fuck am I going to do? And at this point, he's like, oh, Mary Jane, you gotta go. And he jumps down in the water with Doc Ock, who's just like, he's really derpy now. Yeah, self-sufficient, that's it, self-sufficient, thank you, Glee. He jumps in the water, and he's like, Dr. Octavius. And he goes, huh? And he takes off his mask, because at this point, he's like, I'm going to kill him after this is over. I'm going to have to fucking kill him. And he's like, Parker, brilliant but lazy. He's like, I guess it fried the arm, so they're no longer in control at this point. And he goes, you gotta tell me how to stop it. Look at all the destruction it's causing. He goes, oh shit, you're right, but I can't do it. It's my life's work. It defines me. It's what I want. And he grabs, about to choke Peter with the tentacle, the hentai tentacle. And Peter's like, he does the whole Aunt May speech from earlier. It's like, sometimes we have to give up the thing we want most for the people that we love. It's like, that's the little hero inside of us. And Aki's listening to this. He's like, ah, shit, you're right. All right, I'll stop being a bad guy. But the arms are like, girls like, no, fucking complete the goddamn machine. He's like, no, you listen to me now. You listen to me now. And they stop and they go, okay. They're like, oh, they like act like little dogs and shit. So now they're in his full control. So he could have full control of the arms at any time, chat. But the plot dictates that you need to wrap this shit up, honey. And so at this point, Peter is like, okay, how do we stop it? He's like, drown in the river. He goes, okay, but Doc Ock's like, no, I'll do it. I'll be the one to do it. And he lifts himself up and he proceeds to, rip it apart to drown the river. Meanwhile, Mary Jane's like, holy shit! Sees him without his mask and he goes, oh yeah, I'm Spider-Man, by the way. But Chad, he notices that the thing is still sucking up all the metal. All the cars in New York are being sucked up into the ball too. Everything that's magnetic is being attracted to the fusion. But then the side of the goddamn wharf, Chad, is coming right on Mary Jane, right about to crush her. And he goes, no! Which is also in the trailer, Chad, which was great. That was a great no. His no! That was a really good no. He sold that no very well, Chad. And he fucking grabs her, Chad, and he swings away, Chad, and he makes a giant web. He makes a giant web for them. Meanwhile, Doc Ock is like, I will not die a monster, but you'll fucking die, though, because he rips this thing, Chad. And he just kind of drowns himself. Because then we see that iconic shot of him in the water. It's like, is he dead? No, the lights go out in the tentacles. So, yeah, he drowned. So, Doc Ock, that's how he dies, Chad. So, not nearly, to me, as iconic as, Green Goblin's death. Which again was very reminiscent of the comic shit, a very iconic death in the comics where, it's like, Godspeed, Spider-Man, and the fucking flames goes, oh, and just stabs him in the groin. Not as cool as as Norman's death. He's like, Peter, don't tell Harry. That doesn't have the same effect for me. My question is, thank you, T-Mac. My question is, why the hell did Doc Ock program the arms to have the threat of them potentially have a mind of their own? That's just it's plot convenience. It's plot convenience. It was an easy excuse to make him a bad guy. And yeah, it's just, I don't buy it. It's very weak. It's a very weak element in the movie, which is too bad. But thankfully, the video game handled it much better. I thought handled it much better, where it's physically impacting his mind, where it's causing him to become more aggressive and irrational because of the strain, and also because he doesn't want to become a paraplegic because he won't be able to use his legs or arms, I think, in a year's time. And so he has that desperate, he has that desperateness. He also has that hatred towards Osborn, which is exasperated based on the strain. So they handle it much better in the video game. But he dies, and Peter goes up to MJ and shit, and he goes, this is the reason why we can't be together, okay? I'm Spider-Man. It's not good for you. You'll always be in danger. I mean, she's going to be in danger no matter fucking what. She was in danger when she didn't know you were Spider-Man, but then he fucking lowers her to the ground. You go marry John Jameson. And now we come to the part of the movie, which to this day, I don't understand why people believe this. But John Jameson, was with the police chat looking for MJ, and they found her, and they spot her and everything. And there's a scene where he's in front of the police chat, and he does this very big jump to a boat where Peter or Spider-Man and MJ are. He does this fucking leap. And people were fucking convinced because of this leap, because he went to the moon, they thought that he had the Venom symbiote. This was the biggest rumor that this movie generated. That and the Punisher cameo, which was not a Punisher cameo, for Thomas Jane's Punisher. But this is the big one, chat, where people thought he was going to be a new version of Venom, which honestly, I'll tell you this, would make more sense than what they did with Eddie Brock in the sequel. He was just already a kind of a twerp to begin with, always a little scumbag. He's like, I hate Peter Parker because, he exposed the fact that I'm an asshole. But, you could actually give John Jameson some motivation. Okay, because the fucking marriage was ruined, all that, which we'll get to in a second. But people believed that John Jameson was being set up to be Venom in a Spider-Man sequel, whether it be going to be Spider-Man 3 or not. And he had the Venom symbiote based on a leap. I remember seeing forums and people analyzing this scene and say it's all there. He went to the moon. People were bringing up the fact in the animated series he had the Venom symbiote attached to him at one point when they found it on the moon. All this shit. Yeah. Hey man, I'm telling you, that's what people thought. Make sure that wasn't Thomas Jane. People are saying it was Thomas Jane. We'll get to the Thomas Jane cameo, but that always cracked me up. People were adamant about that setting up Venom, and Venom was in the sequel, but not John Jameson. Too bad they never brought him back for the other movie. The actor did a good job. But after that, we're now at Mary Jane's wedding day, Chad, and it's, wow, they spent a fucking mint. Can you imagine a New York City wedding? Oh, my God. And the venue they got, so expensive, Chad, so expensive. And, that she's getting all dolled up and shit. We're cutting back and forth to Peter at his fucking apartment looking all miserable and shit. And we see MJ in the mirror looking at herself. Aunt Ida, which I imagine was Aunt Ida. She's standing next to her, gave her bouquet of flowers. She looks at herself. And then we cut to the little procession chat. John Jameson's there. All these other characters are there. Robbie and JJ and all that shit. And all of a sudden, this bridesmaid, she runs up to the altar where John is and gives him a note. And he's like, oh, shit. I just got left at the altar, which I'm sorry. That bothers me. But we do get a good line. With JJ tells his wife, honey, I forget what he says. Tell Jeanette not to open the oh God, what's her goddamn line? Call the caterer. She's like, why? Because fucking caviar is way too expensive. So he's still thinking of the goddamn caviar shit, still thinking of the money that he just lost on this wedding. Because he paid for it. MJ's parents aren't paying for this shit. They're too goddamn poor. For some reason, when I was a kid, I thought the bridesmaid was going to take MJ's place as the bride. Oh, that's hilarious. You're the runner-up. You're the runner-up just in case. Oh, man. And it's like, tell her not to open the caviar. That's the line. Tell the caterer not to open up the caviar. And then we cut to, which I think was so fucking corny, of her running through like Central Park or New York City in the wedding dress. It's like, you got to give that back, just in the wedding dress chat, just running to Peter Parker's apartment. That ba 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 ba. It's like, oh, and then she's standing in his doorway, and he's like, oh shit, but MJ, your wedding, and she's like, I love you, Peter, and you love me, and they smooch so goddamn hard, yeah. But in the process of smooching, we hear the sirens, and he's like, oh, and she says the iconic line, chat, go get him, Tiger. And he's like, yeah, and he fucking suits up, and the ba 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 ba. He's swinging after the bad guy, chat. We cut back to MJ, who's just like, Jesus, this is gonna be really hard and stressful. And there you go, chat. It ends with that of an exasperated Mary Jane Watson who left her fiance, chat, the man she was about to marry, in minutes at the altar. That was you don't do that. You don't do that the day of your wedding, okay? Fucking bullshit. How long in between when she was rescued did they do the wedding? I think there was a period of time before that, chat. There was a modicum of time. So she did something really fucking shitty to John Jameson. He did not deserve that shit. That's why it was very much The Graduate, baby GG, and ends very similar to The Graduate. You're right. Good catch. He didn't deserve that. That was a very shitty thing to do. That's why she's a bad person. She's a bad character. I don't like this version of Mary Jane Watson. But that chat is also, people thought there was an extra behind MJ. Everyone believed it was Thomas Jane's Punisher, which had come out the same year, Chad. It come out, I think, exactly around the same time. People were like, that's Thomas Jane. People were like, that's him. But it was not. There was supposed to be I forget if it was in Spider-Man 2 or in Spider-Man 1, where Hugh Jackman was supposed to cameo as Wolverine. I forget if it was the first film or the second film. I don't remember. I think maybe it was the second movie. But the reason why it was going to happen, they were going to film it. He was obligated to be on set, but apparently they couldn't. It's so stupid. They couldn't find his costume, like the black leather costume, which who fucking cares? No one cares about those costumes. Just have Hugh Jackman singing the hair. That's all you need. But he was supposed to cameo in one of these. Oh yeah. We got to get to the one scene. Hold on. I'm not done. I can't believe I forgot this scene. Hold on to your horses, chat, because all this, we'll just call it a stinger. We're going to call it a stinger, chat. So here's the big thing that bothers me, is that we cut back to Harry Osborn. My apologies, chat. My apologies. This is a disservice to me. Shame on me, chat. Shame on me. Again, this movie is far from fucking over. This is the true ending, okay? Forget that wedding bullshit. Then go get him, Tiger. This is what you're here for, chat. Where we cut back to Harry Osborn. Now, already I'm like, why didn't Peter immediately swing back to see Harry and explain the situation? Why didn't that happen? That to me is that's one of the big like flaws against this movie. It's like, you needed that scene. When the next time they talk to each other is in Spider-Man 3, like a year's gone by, and Peter's like, oh, how you doing, Harry? You're not going to bring up the fact that all that history was right there. You need to talk about this. It's so stupid. Where he doesn't go back to see Harry. And so Harry's just fucking sitting. It doesn't make any goddamn sense, Chad. That's what it's like. All right, logic is going out the fucking window. And Harry's just sitting there with the dagger, and then he hears like a door open. He goes, "What the hell was that?" And we fucking hear him, chat. He goes like, what? He's going to seeing all the masks and things. He's like, I'm over here, Harry. And he goes, we cut to the fucking mirror, and there he is, chat. William the fucking Foe. Norman Osborn, chat. It's me, Harry's like, Dad? But you died. No, Harry, I'm alive in you, son. He's like, this is not possible. It's not possible. Oh, it is. And we have unfinished business, Harry. You need to go for the heart, Harry. He's like, but he's my friend. He killed me. He's my murderer. Harry, you have to avenge me. He's like, I can't. Harry, you have to avenge me. I can't. Harry, avenge me. And he's like, no. And he throws the dagger through the fucking mirror. He throws the dagger through the mirror, and it's like, and it breaks apart. And Harry walks through there, Chad. He's like, what the hell is this? And he's like, it's a secret passage. It's a secret goddamn passage. He goes in there, Chad, and that's where he sees it. He sees the goblin mask. He sees the goblin glider, the pumpkin bombs, the batarang, Chad. All of it, and the goblin formula. Back to formula, Norman. MJ and I are gonna have a hell of a time. And that, my friends, that is the true ending to Spider-Man 2, setting up Harry Osborn as the snowboarder, as the new goblin. So lame. Oh, such a wasted opportunity, chat. Such a wasted opportunity. Hey, but we got that Defoe. We had the Defoe. And they say that a hero can save us, and not gonna stand here and wait. And they say that the wings of a hero. Oh, I love it, chat. So goddamn good. You know the fucking lyrics. Thank you, Glee, for the 100 biddies. And they're watching us, fly away. Because thank you. It's better than the movie. So I hope you guys enjoyed this review. 3.5 hours I've been streaming. 3.5 hours. Thank you. D-Cogs for the 200 biddies. Thank you, Glee, for the 100 biddies. T-Mac with the 5 biddies. He lives in you. He lives in me. He watches over everything we see. Thank you, Darkseid, for the 5 biddies. Hark! Oh, my God. Harry is Little Goblin Jr. Rating? Oh. Man, there's like movie. I'll give it this. It has some good moments. There's some good moments between Tobey Maguire and Rosemary Harris that felt very Spider-Man. All the action scenes really hold up. I mean, there's some weird CGI that's dated, but I mean, that happens. You know, that's gonna happen. The practical effects are really good. The choreography's they nailed the choreography. Norman Osborn at the end. Who doesn't love some Norman? That's always good. But there's some really goofy shit. Ock's motivation is dumb. Harry is ridiculous in the film. I don't like Kristen Dunst's MJ. They give her nothing to do except be annoying, and scream and have erect nipples. That's all she does. And I don't even blame her. I blame the writers and I blame Raimi. So yeah, it's a really mixed bag. I think the one thing I don't know. Like even Alfred Molina's performance, I think it's okay. I know a lot of people love him as Doc Ock, but I think it's just fine. I'm just not really into it. I don't know. I give it a high rental. Chad. I know it's going to be a controversial rating for a lot of people, but it has a lot of flaws. I know why. I can understand why people love it for this movie because when it's on point, it's on point. It does a good job. The choreography is very good. The fight sequences are better, but there's just some plot stuff that is just I cannot forgive. That is so goddamn annoying that it drives me crazy. But I know a lot of people love this film, but for me, I give it a high rental, Chad. High rental. Chris Harris, full price, goofy as fuck, but still dig it. Warts and all. Super Tupac, wow, lower than I expect. A high rental. Yeah, man, high rental. I'm between like a very low matinee and a high rental. And I think I even gave Spider-Man 1 a high rental, but I don't know. I'm back and forth. Like, I like Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin much more than I like Alfred Molina's Doc Ock. Personally, Doc Ock has the look. I'll give him this. He has the look. It's a much better the appearance, and then the Green Goblin's appearance looks ridiculous. But I love Willem Dafoe's exaggerated performance. I don't know. Yeah, all you guys saying it's a full price. No, I get you. My Secret Bro. Thank you, Secret Bro, for the host. Appreciate you. Welcome to stream. As I always say, guys, the host meant a lot to me. Help spread the word of the Revenant. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed this review. Apologies if it was a little too long. How many bras out of 5? It was 0 out of 5 bras. There were no bras in this movie. Dark Side of the 5 made a great review. I'm heading out. See, now I understand. I hope you guys liked it. And it hasn't aged well. No one except Jim Carrey can out crazy Willem Dafoe. Yeah. Mando is up next. Chat. I need to take a break. I need to just relax a little bit. Sony Jack, welcome to stream. Hope you're doing very well. Hey, Daniels, hey, you having a pop your pins? That's why I like a couple of some of my other ones. I need a drink. Oh my God. Whew. Thank you, guys, for the 20 biddies. Peter, those hentai arms, those horrible hentai. Peter, those horrible hentai arms, Peter. Those horrible hentai arms. My voice is going to give out. Thank you, T-Mac, for the 5 biddies. I think I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, and I'm too drunk to remember. What's your favorite Spider-Man movie? Better be Into the... Spider-Man Homecoming is my favorite, but Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is my second favorite. That's my... I would rank these. It would go... Spider-Man Homecoming. I just think they got everything right with that movie, for me, personally. Spider-Man Homecoming, Into the Spider-Verse is very, very close second, though. Very close second. Both of those I would give better than Sex. After that, Far From Home is my third favorite. Then, after that, I would say probably the first Tobey Maguire Spider-Man film. Then Spider-Man 2. That's my top 5. Then, I don't know. Maybe the first Amazing Spider-Man, then Amazing Spider-Man 2, then Spider-Man 3. Honestly, those 3 are just... I don't know. The first Amazing Spider-Man is just so generic and just blah. It doesn't need to exist. It's just like, I don't know. It's just boring. But Amazing Spider-Man 2 and Spider-Man 3 are just so bad. You can go back and forth which one is worse, honestly. But those are the bottom. Yeah. Oh, my God. The elite think of the 5 biddies. Willem Dafoe was scared with or without that goblin mask. He didn't need the mask. He just right on his face. They should have never hit his face shit. It was a huge mistake. Huge mistake. Either Homecoming or Spider-Verse. I got back and forth. Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 1, Far From Home, Amazing Spider-Man, Spider-Man 3, Steve Clifton, Amazing Spider-Man 2. Well, it's Pitt to Venom. Oh, yeah, Venom. I forgot Venom. I don't even include Venom's not even. I don't even acknowledge that film. No, I'll tell you what Amazing Spider-Man has. To be positive about the Amazing Spider-Man chat, the chemistry between Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone is great. I totally buy them as a couple. I love the way they flirt back and forth. Also helped that they happen to have been dating. They were a couple in real life at the time. And that came across very natural. And I always that aspect of the film is leagues better than the relationship stuff between Tobey Maguire and Kristen Dunst in the Raimi trilogy. There's no doubt about that. Now I'll give Mark Webb that. How he handled that romance was very good. I like that. But, to each their own. Still, my top 3 is, at the end of the day, chat, are still Homecoming, Into the Spider-Verse, and Far From Home. But, chat, I am going to set up some stuff for Mando and the kid.